wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I would never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. Freedom. Obsessions always jumping through. I'm so tangled lost in my reflection. Pay attention. You never will. I will overanalyze and fall victim. But when I'm lowest, time to get to know myself. I'm still tangled, I'm not worried, 'cause I am caught up in this perfection. Pay attention, yeah, you never will. 'Cause you depend, so you always will. If you arrest yourself again, I'll help you clean up the mess. I wonder if you ever did, yeah. I wonder if you ever did like I did. I wonder if you ever did, yeah. I wonder if you ever did like I did. Just wanna be free, yeah. Free, yeah. Free, yeah. Free, yeah. Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Do you need anything like I need you? Oh, what's up, people? Dude, where's my fucking camera? Dude, hold on. Let's go. What a fucking day, bro. I've got no place to be alone, my friend. He cut his wrist instead. There's your answer. You better say
There we go.
yourself or else. Nothing like success. I would rather be in hell than regret. Do you need anything?
How we doing?
Like I need you?
It's over.
Do you need anything like I need you?
Get ready.
No, I do. But denial, these are not my words. Tell me where
Are mine most of the time.
wet my face with reality.
And permit me to breathe before I do it again. Do you need anything like I it's over. Oh, do you need anything like I need you? Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Oh, do you need anything like I need you? How we doing, people? Dude, it's a crazy day, man. All right, we can do this. Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Oh, do you need anything like I need you? Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Oh, do you need anything like I need you? Dude. How you guys doing? Dude, for me, it's been a crazy day. It's like I didn't really get all the video work done today that I wanted to. I was like super scattered. I was on Twitter a lot. I slept a couple of times, including like right up until this stream. I mean, you know, today was illuminating, to say the least. And we're going to try to like cover it all. I don't know how late I'm going to stream tonight. I feel like there's a lot of videos to be made, but obviously just a synopsis of what I want to talk about tonight is first, we're going to look at the outrageous and egregious lying and gaslighting that took place today. This is really like next level when you compare the outrageous lies in Kristi Noem's official statement compared to the numerous videos from every different angle possible. Okay, so I mean, you know, the news hit this morning. Obviously, I saw a video right away, and right away I remember seeing, you know, a tweet by 𝗫𝗏𝗃, and then I saw the video, and 𝗫𝗏𝗃 sort of included this statement in their tweet where they said witnesses described it as an execution. I had already seen the video at that point, and I was actually on the early end of posting about this stuff. And so initially nobody knew that this person had a gun. I mean, you could tell this person had not like reached for a gun, right? And essentially, to give you a synopsis, I'm going to give you a synopsis, really, just a basic synopsis. Later, we had the full picture. This thing kind of unfolded. It was unfolding as I was tweeting. This was really interesting today, guys, because this is the first time I was like live tweeting as a situation was unfolding and interacting with people and taking in new information and going along this situation. But we're gonna start it with this image, okay? And I'm gonna go through. We had a couple donos. Let me take care of it, and we're gonna start with this image here, which is from this guy's friend. All right, now let me go back and take care of these donos, and then we're gonna do this right. Okay, so first off, we have to go back to the very beginning. Was Tox Muertos said, "Appreciate you, boss." It's one for you. Thank you, Tox. I appreciate you, boss. Then we had Ridge come in. Ridge said, Ridge came in and dropped a fucking a big one. Thank you, Ridge. All right, we appreciate you too, for kicking us off. Okay. Then we had San Diego, beautiful city. Thank you for the membership. All right. Alex Pretti, real patriot, RIP. Yes, thank you. I'm not a cat. Appreciate you, boss. So glad I found you. You're the best. Thank you. Thank you, Beard. Appreciate you too. I'm glad you're here. Oops, I doubled up there. Dude, Rip Nurse Alex, Tox Muertos. Thank you again, boss. Appreciate you. All right. And then we have Ella here sending everyone positive energy, hugs, love, whatever y'all need. Rip Alex Pretti. Rip Renee Nicole Good. And justice for everyone ICE has affected. Yes. And a shout out to Keith Porter, too. He was not caught on camera, so his, of course, is forgotten. Thank you, Ella. We appreciate you. That's huge. Thank you so much, boss. So I want to start with this image, and we can unpack this. But I just want to start with this image because this image really encapsulates what was going on from the get-go. And why this image? Well, first off, it comes from a friend of Alex Pretti, okay? Somebody that has known him for a while, somebody who posted about it. But secondly, because I think this encapsulates everything we need to know about the event. Because first off, look at him. He's standing there. He's holding his phone like we hold our phone when you record. And he does not have a gun out. He is not pointing a gun at this agent. That agent is like a foot away from him, not in danger. That agent's arms are down. Okay, now, the reason why I'm starting with this image in the beginning is because of how unruly and unnecessary this entire thing was. Okay, this guy was filming. This guy was offering no resistance whatsoever. Then there was a series of events that happened. Okay, and one of the events that happened was an ICE agent ruthlessly pushed this woman to the ground. Okay, and then this guy went over and like stepped between the ICE agent and the woman on the ground, and then they pepper sprayed him, and he put a hand up to block it. Then they pepper sprayed the woman. Then this guy turned his back to those agents and tried to get that woman up. And at that point, these agents escalated this thing, and like 5, 7 of these guys surrounded him and started dragging him and started punching him. And now at one point in this, while this guy is on his hands and knees, they discovered that he had a holstered weapon. He had a permit for this weapon. Minnesota allows you to carry holstered weapons. He was just in his, Second Amendment rights like Philando Castile. This guy did not draw that weapon. This guy never even let go of that camera the whole time. Eventually, what happened is one of the ICE agents reached in and removed his weapon and then walked away with it. And then, after he was unarmed, had his arming taken away, multiple of these guys shot him at point blank range, and then they all stood back and fired bullets into his corpse. And that's the summation of what happened. It was initiated and escalated, and then an execution was committed by these agents. And then the DHS came out and openly lied about this. They completely lied. And then all the video evidence came out that we're going to look into. And all the video evidence came out proving they lied. Okay, now what it goes beyond this, because we have an event captured from multiple camera angles, okay? And we have DHS and the government completely lying about this event and trying to paint them as the aggressor to cover their tracks. And then, if that were not enough, we have Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States, then sending a letter to Tim Walz basically saying, hey, if you give us all your voter data, we're going to we'll bounce out of there, right? Which is wow. The fact that this administration is seeking voter data, unredacted voter data, is the government has no business having that data. Right? What are they even doing? Why are they asking states for the data? Why are they leveraging ICE presence in a state for voter data? This, we're going to look at that too. And of course, Alex's family made a statement. Now, here's the deal, guys. We have a Second Amendment. You are allowed to have a gun. You are allowed to be arrested while having a gun or whatever. Interacting with law enforcement agents while having a gun. Having a gun does not give them license to kill you. There is no license to kill somebody for having a gun. Okay? There is not. We have constitutional rights that exist. Right? You know what I mean? Now, beyond this, what is crazy, guys, is the rhetoric online. How basically what has happened is the MAGA people will justify anything. Okay? They will justify anything. It's very clear that to them, these agents can escalate, beat up, harass, shoot. You're just supposed to comply is their basic thing. If they just walk up to you randomly and start beating you with golf clubs, you're supposed to just lay there and take it. And man, this is just unreal. Now, all right. I mean, it's heavy, guys. It's heavy. And we're at a tipping point here. We are at a tipping point. Now my basic, my feeling about this is that when something like this happens, we have to multiply. Okay? We have to multiply. We have to come out, 10x, 20x, 100x. Everybody filming every moment, more cameras, right? More cameras, more filming, more protesters, more, the rebellion has to simply increase. You know what I'm saying? We have to we have to respond to this with more numbers, and there may very well have to be a national walkout, a work walkout or something, or, right? Or we find a company that supports ICE and a national boycott of that company complete. I don't know. We'll figure that out. I just know that right now we're wounded, and watching this today, watching it unfold was pretty crazy. Now, let's start. I want to start sort of with the last bit of footage that I have seen that maybe you guys haven't seen. But so there is a bit of footage here, guys, that literally just came out that I literally just saw. Okay, that is this. That's a close-up of the scene from, I believe, inside the car that was right there. That shows the beginning of this. Okay, now let me find this bit. I know that I bookmarked this part. It is this one. Okay, this is from an hour ago, and this is the very beginning of it. Okay, starting with the ICE agent pushing this woman. Now, guys, we're not going to get into graphic shit tonight. I'm giving you a heads up. I'm going to be stopping the videos before this guy gets shot. We're not watching any of the gory shit. We're not going to be listening to the traumatic cries afterwards. I'm keeping this sort of trigger free tonight because I know we've all seen enough of it. But this shows the very beginning. I believe it was filmed from inside the car. Okay, and here. So there's the push of the protester. Here's the person in pink, okay, that's filming the whole thing. And here is Alex Pretti, who gets pepper sprayed and puts his hands up. Okay, this is inside, I believe, the car that's right there. You know what I'm saying? And so I think this piece of information is important to watch.
Whoa!
Okay, I'm stopping it right there. Okay, I'm stopping it right there. But you see, this person is in the car. And again, we're not going to watch this whole thing, but this thing starts with this ICE agent pushing this woman over for no reason, guys. Okay, for no reason whatsoever. There is no aggression here. This guy pushes her to the ground. Then Alex steps between them and he gets pepper sprayed and puts his hands up. Okay, he steps between them to simply protect this woman, okay? And then he turns his back to them and they try to help this woman, at which times now more agents come over, okay? And they're continuing to pepper spray him. Look at this guy. And agents are coming over with this woman as well, and they're continuing to spray her. He's trying to help her up, and they are dragging him. And at this point, the agents are ganging up on the woman on the ground, and they are now ganging up on the guy on the ground. Okay? Now, this is how it started. Okay? This was a complete and utter escalation and gang style warfare, aggressive from these guys. Now, the thing that's really unnerving about this, okay? What is unnerving about this, guys, is the fact that we don't know who any of these guys are, okay? In a normal police situation, if there was an officer involved in a shooting, if there were people involved in a shooting in a normal situation, municipal police force, sheriffs, whatever, we would have the identities. There would be a complete independent investigation. We don't know who any of these guys are. They are all masked. They all scattered like cockroaches after this was done. We are in a state where there is literally a secret police force that is now executing U.S. citizens on our streets. And then even though we have video of it, the government is coming out and lying about this. And then all of these guys are scattering like cockroaches. And they could literally be in line next to you at the grocery store tomorrow. Okay? This is fucking beyond Okay, this is like beyond troubling here. Okay, now I want to jump from this right to Kristi Noem. Okay, we're going to jump. We're going to be a little sporadic here, but we're going to go right to Kristi Noem. Okay, and let's go right to her fucking statement. Okay, because here was Kristi Noem's statement. Okay, this was at 2:28 p.m. Now, guys, I want you to understand this is like 2.5 hours. Okay, this thing happened at roughly noon my time, or like no, it happened at 8 my time. This is several hours later. Okay, it was like 9 a.m. I believe in Minnesota time, so it was like 8 or 7 our time. Okay, but now watch her statement. This is the official DHS statement. We literally just watched the beginning of this. Okay, we watched exactly right here. Now listen to her statement. Okay, you ready? Here we go.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
All right. Dude. Impeach this fucking witch, boss. Like, I don't even know what to say to that statement, because if you look at it from the beginning of this guy did not come at them with a weapon. This guy did not come at them at all. He's got a camera. He's got his hand up. He's being pepper sprayed. I mean, the lying. Now, why this becomes outrageously important is because now it is blatantly clear. I mean, we already knew this, okay, but it is blatantly clear that DHS is completely lying to us. Like, we know now that they're probably never telling us the truth. Every statement they give us about somebody, about so-and-so, about this event, about that event, about an arrest, even about the people they're arresting, there is like zero credibility to this administration, to this DHS. That was blatant lying, okay? That was blatant lying. Now, does he have a weapon? He does. He has a holstered gun on the right backside of his body under this jacket. It's legal. He has a permit. It's legal in Minnesota. He's not even being an aggressor without his weapon. There is nothing about this that was aggression. Okay, that statement was a complete lie. All right, now, dude, there was a fucking news conference here with fucking Bovino. Okay, Bovino, watch this. Dude, they took 2 questions, Bovino did, and then they just shut it down. They just shut the news conference down.
Possibly a Sig Sauer 9mm.
All right, no more questions. Sorry, no more questions, sir.
Commander.
Dude, he took 2 questions, right? Identified what kind of gun it was, and then they were like, no more questions at a news conference, guys. They just literally walked Bovino out of there, okay? Why? Because they're in deep shit, okay? Now, I want to share something with you because something happened earlier today. So, like I said, guys, I was tweeting about this from the beginning. You ready? Hold on, let me go back here. Look at this. I tweeted about this from the beginning, guys. All right, let me show you. I'm going to go back here. I tweeted about this from the very beginning, okay, right here, 13 hours ago. Okay, so I was tweeting about this at 8:30 in the morning, right after this happened, right after this footage went up. And I said, trigger warning, masked thug. Okay, now what ended up happening was then I tweeted about this woman, right? We need to see this footage, right? Then I went through and marked that a little closer. And then I sort of did some arrows showing some events. We were slowly unpacking it. Like, it was really weird. I was unpacking it by watching the live footage, interacting with people in the replies, then going back and rewatching the footage, then getting new footage from a different angle. So it was this crazy exploratory thing happening as we were like viewing this, where eventually we see that this guy reached in and grabbed his gun. This guy pulled the gun out of his back holster, okay? And then they killed him. He turned himself into a... Dude, I'm not reading that. That is, like, pretty tasteless there, boss. No offense. I appreciate the dono, but I'm actually not reading that. And in fact, we're gonna look at you real quick for a sec here, right? In fact, I think we're just gonna do this, you know, right? We're just gonna do that. I'm sorry, from the name and the name and the just the tenor of that. I don't want any of that. We're removing that person altogether right there, dude. Yeah. Bye-bye. So, but thank you for the $2. Thank you for the appreciate you. Smell ya. Yeah, refund. Nope. Dude. All right, but now look at this, guys. So, hold on. I do want to show you this because then the new footage came out. So, check this out. So, Ken Martin of the DNC, guys, actually originally retweeted me. Okay? Look at this. This was crazy. Oh, dance party goal? Yes. Let's do it. Dude, we got you. You like that, guys? See, I'll tell you what. You ready? That, guys, you know what I'm saying? That right there, okay? That right there is that guy right there is what do you call it? I guess that's the sign of a pro it's a sign of a pro streamer right there. You know what I mean? Instant reaction. We see what they're up to. We see the name and it's gone, right? Dude, hey, Walday, dude, you gotta chill out, boss. Okay? You gotta like chill out. We're not engaging in any retribution. We're just like moving people out of here. Okay? But like, I get it. I know people are feisted, but we're not fucking going after anybody. That kind of behavior is not gonna happen here. We're gonna just let that shit go and move on. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna just let that shit move on. All right? Yeah. And no, there will be no refund. There will be no refund at all on that one. But so anyway, so Ken Martin of the DNC guys had retweeted my footage about the Kent State moment. We either take a stand here or it's over, right? Isn't this crazy? He retweeted me, but then he deleted it like right afterwards. Okay? He deleted it afterwards. And right? Dude, it's crazy. I think it was just a little too aggressive. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Ridge, let's go. Appreciate you, boss. You said, Ridge says, I got angry earlier about someone saying something. You apologize. That's okay. Yeah, I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to somebody who was saying some shit about like giving out their personal information or whatever. We don't do that. Like, guys, I just so you know, and I want to be an open book here. when somebody comes in with this outrageous negativity or somebody comes in trying to ruin the day, I do not need to get any retribution for that. You know what I'm saying? I think like I just let that shit go, right? We don't take their shit at all. Yeah, no, I know Walde. Walde, I get it. I understand your like how you feel, and I totally get the response. It is a totally natural response, but I think like fuck them. We're gonna let them stay miserable. All right, but anyway, moving on. So Ken retweeted it, and then he unretweeted it. Now he eventually, like 20 minutes later, Ken Martin then used the drop site footage, and he retweeted their link instead of me, which I get. I think the Kent State moment and the we take a stand or it's over, I think maybe he felt that was a little inflammatory. I did tag him, though, and say, yo, dude, why'd you delete this? Like, I think the Kent State reference, I think it's important. I think you guys, you really need to pay attention to that reference. Dude, F-Ice, let's go, Cookie. Appreciate you, boss. All right. So anyway, though, I thought it was pretty cool. That, though, this is how, like, in the moment we were, okay? This is how in the moment we were when this shit was going on. Now, I want to look at this version again, too, because this shows the same thing from the beginning. Look at this. Look at this version, guys. All right, we're going to watch this again. I'm going to stop it early. We're not going into the gory stuff, but this is the beginning of this confrontation.
Things got buried. Yeah, unroll your windows. No, you're just right inside.
Okay, so this is the start of it. It starts with them pushing him back and him going back, all right? This is the beginning of this. We're going to pull the whole thing out here. We're going to watch this. All right, here we go.
Let's go around.
This person is just driving by, right? You see that, though? How in the beginning, it is like not only is this guy not an aggressor, okay? Not only is this guy not an aggressor, but he's like backing up, you know, he's being slightly like, hey, don't tread on me, holding his camera, but like no aggression, okay? No aggression whatsoever. All right, abolish ICE. Yes, Nick. Yes. This is crazy, okay? Crazy. All right, now, the real, then I did make a video. All right, then we obviously 𝗙𝗪 came out and made a very strong statement. Okay, I think this statement is really pretty important. You know what I'm saying? All right, and hold on one sec here. Yeah, so my thing is with this is we will look at some of the footage that like where it shows the gun, etc. But we're not going to watch the whole thing. Everybody has seen this shit to death. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has seen this shit to death. But here was 𝗙𝗪's little statement.
I just think that if we do not stop this now, if we don't abolish Trump's ICE and make sure that we have a trained force that is following the law, that this is going to erupt into something really terrible. It already is, but it could get vastly worse.
Yeah, and I think we have to heed we have to heed JB Pritzker here, guys, because here is the problem. You know what I'm saying? This is the result of like zero training. Okay? You know what I'm saying? This is the result of zero training. There is a ragtag bunch of guys out there that are showing up, and in the moment, they're just winging it. They're like pushing people around. They're threatening them. They're jumping on people. If you say the wrong thing and somebody gets mad, they're dogpiling you. I mean, this stuff is absolutely just the bottom of the barrel as far as it goes with a law enforcement. These guys are not law enforcement. These guys are just like mercs that are hired, that are basically being like the Trump gang. And we are going to look at some footage here in a minute of one over, I believe, on the East Coast threatening a woman and telling her she's in a database and she's a domestic terrorist and all this shit. I mean, they're like just out there lying and terrorizing people with carte blanche, because as soon as it's done, they literally walk away and we don't even know who they are. And then DHS says, oh, we'll investigate, but we know they're all lying. But so the thing about Pritzker's point is at some point, if we continue going like this, we're going to end up having like a gun battle where a group of people are going to decide not to take this. And there's going to be like some type of large scale shootout eventually if they don't do something about this. Like we need to nip this in the bud right now, because obviously this group of people is a complete failure. There's no leadership. The leadership is lying to us, okay? And this is just egregious nonsense, okay? This is egregious nonsense. And again, here's where it began, guys. This is where it began, okay? This is where it began, okay? Right here, okay? That's where it started. One guy talking to some people filming him and then becoming upset. None of this had to happen, okay? And now, what's more, guys, when we go back to this image right here, this is where it should have stopped, okay? In a normal trained force, whatever, you move to this guy back, you pushed her down, you pepper spray him. There's no reason for these guys to not just walk away. This is a done deal, okay? You walk away right here. You just walk. There's nothing left to be sitting here. There's no reason to gang tackle this guy. This guy right here, look at that. He is not at all being aggressor, okay? He is not at all. There is zero aggression, 0.0%. Okay, dude, Ella with the blue hearts. Thank you, Ella. Dude, Nameless Nick, I'm sure the small government, govern me more daddy maggots are going to be cool with digital IDs and police state that they're ushering in. You know what's funny, Nick? I honestly, at this point, I believe that they don't actually care about any of that. Bongino, Noem, Miller, Trump are all accessories to murder for covering for this thug. Dude, I'm no argument here, John Robinson. Dude, this is pretty, like, it should have stopped there. Now, let's look at the disarming, okay? Let's look at the disarming, because this is important here, okay? So I want to see if we can have the series of events here. Let me see. I think I have it in the bookmarks. No, I do not. All right. So, all right, let me find my series of events. I believe it is, okay. Yeah, so here's the agent pulling his gun. Okay, let me see. I guess we can just I want to find one of the slow motion ones. Okay, one of the slow motion videos. Let's see if we can find a slow motion video here, and then we'll fucking pull this out. Give me 1 second. All right. Dude, Josiah, Josie and Georges, let's go. Thank you. Dude, Pinky Parker, let's go. All right. There was somebody who did a really slow one. I guess I can just work from the main footage. Okay, we can work from the initial footage, and we'll look at this. But dude, a heavy day, guys. A heavy day. Okay. So again, they have disgraced themselves. Illegitimate LE. Yes, James. Yes. Okay. All right. So let's look at the initial footage. Okay. So, all right. This is some of the initial footage. Again, we're not going to go into this deeply. Okay. Right. But so let's watch this. Okay. So this guy is the dude who walks up with an empty hand. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to see Alex tilted over, like on his knees, body hunched over his knees. You're going to see him reach behind his back. Okay. Right? Right there. You see that? He's reaching back there. He grabs his leg. Now he is pulling the gun out of the holster. You know what I'm saying? Right? Yeah, guys, don't worry about the trolls, dude. Don't worry about them. Don't let them get your goat. But when you see a troll, just identify it. Just identify the name and I'll get rid of them. We're going to give them 0% of our energy, boss. All right? I'm telling you right now, there are a bunch of losers from the Fortnite community that are heartless and callous and have been manipulated by people like Andrew Tate and Charlie Kirk. And they're really hurt little boys. And they've been coming in now because we're getting to the size that they're all seeing my shit in the general political vernacular. And so they're going to come in and they're going to vent their stuff. But we're going to be unbothered by that, guys, because at the end of the day, you know what it is? At the end of the day, guys, that's a sign that one, we've blown up to the point of where they're seeing us in the general political population. Two, they're just upset because I was able to succeed at a game that they all wanted to get successful at. And they couldn't. They couldn't do it, but I did. And then I left. I left their dream job behind and went on to do another thing. So I'm on like my second fucking career in the time that they're still resenting my first one. So, I mean, dude, but you know what my dad used to say is fuck them, right? My dad used to say, dude, you live good. Okay. That's what you do. You don't waste time like bending over to like hear what losers say to you. You just live good. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to let the negative like get in our way. Stop stupidity. Let's go, baby. Slow march towards impeding the 2026 midterms FDT. Yeah, BJ, we're going to talk about that. Dude, let's go. Dude, let's go. Dude, just saying with the gifted. We're going to be good, guys. All right, we're going to be good, guys. We are. Now, watch this, though. All right, let's watch this. This guy now is reaching in and pulling out the weapon. Okay? Now, you see this? While he is pulling out the weapon, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys here, this guy starts punching him in the face. Look at that. What are we doing, bro? He's punching him. Now watch right here, guys. Right here. This guy now has Alex Pretti's gun in his hand. Okay? See that? There it is. You see the gun in his hand. Now, they're shooting him. Okay? Right? There, you think he was pistol whipping? Yeah, I mean, hitting, pistol whipping, same thing. But this guy, you can see the weapon right there in his hand. Okay? And now they are engaged. Again, we're not going to watch the rest of this, but they are now engaging in it. He has been disarmed. This guy came in and pulled it out. Okay? So again, though, we go back. It started here. Why are they attacking him for no reason? I mean, it's pretty simple, guys. These agents of the government, okay, these guys have no training, and they are basically being told by their superiors, whether it's Bovino or their commanding officers, they are told that anybody who gets in your way at all, you just have full carte blanche. You can do whatever you want to American citizens or immigrants alike, and we will protect you. Like, they have been told that basically you guys, if anyone gets in your way, you stop it, you control it, you end it, and we will back you. I mean, there's some shit going on. Now we have seen the whistleblower that came out, okay? The whistleblower did come out and say that they have been telling these guys they don't need warrants, that they've been basically given verbal instructions to sort of ignore the Constitution and to obey instead simply what the oral instructions they're being given. Okay, so this is a chop shop operation, guys. This is not like we are far outside the legitimate. Okay, we have Stop Stupidity. Let's go. Coming in hot, dude. We have Hold Cookie with a gifted membership. Let's go. We did hit a 300 member milestone yesterday. Dude, FDT all the way. John Robinson, you ain't wrong, boss. JD Christie says 47 days of training on display. Now, guys, I don't even know that they're getting those 47 days of training. Dude, Stop Stupidity with the gifted membership. Like, I'll be honest, guys. I think a lot of these guys are getting like no training, like none. Okay, this is, I mean, the way they're escalating here. Dude, Evelyn, let's go, Evelyn. Thank you, boss. Welcome to the membership. The way they're escalating this stuff, okay? The way they're escalating this stuff is crazy. Went to a vigil in New Mexico. You see a shift. Sad. Too pissed. Yeah. No, Tuesday. Thank you, boss. I will say this, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is a turning point. Okay? This is a turning point. This is a wake-up call. Now, I am a little bit I understand that Jacob Fry and Tim Walz are like, they're in new uncharted territory. Okay, 3,000 agents descending on the town, and now the second murder there in like a week. Dude, Stop Stupidity, let's go. And so I don't want to jump on fucking Tim Walz and like dogpile on him, but I do have a little bit of you know, I do have a little bit of like wishing he could be a little more resolute. Okay, he is a little like a deer in the headlights, and I know that he's just not the kind of guy that is a steely sort of aggress back kind of person. So I think part of the reason why they picked Minnesota, right? They went to LA, Gavin Newsom got him out. They went to Chicago, J.B. Pritzker got him out. He brought him to Portland, and the Frog and the Portland activists got him out. But so now they went after Walz because Walz is like, he's not good under this kind of pressure. And yes, he there's not much he can do. Now, I think, I don't know, I believe he could have mobilized the National Guard himself early, right on. I that may have been looked at as confrontational. Maybe there is nothing for him to do, but I feel like there's been a lack of like resolute action where I know they're overwhelmed. It's hard to watch your citizens get murdered, and you obviously want to toe the line because you don't want to do something that instigates a war, right? But at the same time, you got to protect your citizens. You're so mad you're in tears, Magnolia Girl. You're not alone. We will be the change. Yes, we will, Ella. We will. Dude, Kit's Cat says trolls equals bots. They are really bad tonight. Yeah, don't worry about the trolls, guys. My thing is this. Let me just tell you, dude, Lucy, let's go. Thank you, boss. So here, just for tonight, guys, because we're heated and people are going to come in, especially these Fortnite idiots might come in and say something really rotten. You can report the trolls, but I say let's not engage with them. If you just identify them to me and put their ats in chat, I'll remove them, okay? And we'll get them going, because sometimes I don't see them, so chat's moving too fast. But stop stupidity, let's go. So guys, there are things they could do, right? Like one of the things I think Minnesota could do, which could have, I think they could pass an ordinance that doesn't allow law enforcement to be wearing a mask. I know some municipalities have done that. And so I don't know why Minneapolis hasn't done that, hasn't gotten their city council together to at least do that, to create some sort of a roadblock. I mean, to me, that would be the first thing you would do, right? ICE and Border Control are run by idiots and bigots. You are not wrong, Josiane. You are not wrong. You know what I'm saying? Dude, we made our goal. Revolution 2026, let's go. Dude, so I don't know. The thing about it is like, at least that would create a situation where they would have a legal standing to have their police show up and be like, oh, sorry, you guys can't operate here today, right? I mean, you know, it's like, I don't know, trying something, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Great stream. Gotta sleep. Peace and love. Yeah, Rich. Thank you, boss. Appreciate everything you've done tonight, boss. Thank you. And get some rest. All right. This is a lot. This is a lot, guys. It's a lot. It's a heavy day. I have been overwhelmed. Now, here's the thing that really bothers me, okay, as an American. All right. Now, like, I consider myself a patriot in as much as, you know, I've devoted much of my life in every way, shape, and form trying to make this country like better, okay? And trying to make it better by simply making myself better, getting sober, getting off intoxicants, trying to make a living doing something that makes a difference, putting art in the world, entertaining people, you know what I'm saying? Doing activism to stand up for the rights of other people that have less power than me. You know, doing other acts of, you know, charity, helping homeless people and shit, but not like filming it and making YouTube videos of it, but privately helping individuals in need where I can. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing that bothered me about today is the fact that, like, our founding fathers would not have approved of this. You know what I'm saying? Our founding fathers, if we rolled back to 1775, okay, and we're the American colonies here, and we're out on the streets, and a bunch of redcoats showed up and started gang piling on our founding fathers, I firmly believe that the people who founded this country would kick the crap, okay? You know what I'm saying? Would kick the crap out of the redcoats for this, as we did. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, I really, it was like the statement I made, guys. I said it in my video, okay? We'll look at the end of the video here, all right? I mean, this is what we have to contend with, okay? Right here, first shot. And then they summarily, while he was on his knees, and the footage before clearly removes the gun and steps away before they fired the first shot. And then they summarily executed him at close range while he was on his knees. And the footage before shows this guy was just filming them, and they like surrounded him and like gang tackled him. And I mean, man, I am livid, because at this point we have to think about citizen militias, because our founding fathers would not put up with this fucking shit. What are we doing, America? This is like, enough is enough, man. Like, we got to get together and do something now. All right, so there you go, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I think that is pretty obvious right there. I don't think there's any argument from that. You know what I'm saying? They're like, our founding fathers, you know, in simplest terms, would not put up with this, with harassment from an occupying force, you know? Now, I don't know what this looks like, okay? Because obviously I'm not here like, you know, saying, oh, we need to have some armed rebellion, blah, blah, blah. And nobody wants a war. Nobody wants violence, okay? But we have to think about protecting our own citizens, okay? Now, this could look in a variety of ways. What are things we could do? One, like 500,000 people could descend on Minneapolis and literally surround the ICE facility there with human beings to the point of where nobody can operate. We could simply shut it down with the sheer population of people, okay? Something like that, a statement like that. Or we can start forming neighborhood militias like the Black Panthers, and so we have like gun-carrying guards that are out there just lining up and preventing these guys from entering neighborhoods. You know, it could be large-scale walkouts, a general strike. We have to do something, okay? We do have to do something, whether it's a general strike or a refusal to pay federal income taxes where everybody just doesn't pay, some type of thing. I don't know. I'm sure organizers now are trying to figure out, but the number one thing we have to do, guys, is this. You ready? Is we do not back down, which means every time these rogue agents kill somebody, we are going to show up in double the numbers, okay? Guys, they're not getting bigger, okay? Their force is not really getting bigger, guys, okay? Their force is not getting bigger. They're having trouble filling slots. They're like, you saw that woman where they literally filled out her application. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They filled out their application, right? Right, they literally filled out the application for her because they're having trouble filling these slots. But there's like millions of us. So we can be out there with more filming. We can be out there with more bodies holding them accountable. I mean, because guys, think about this. If everyone wasn't out there filming, okay? If everyone out there wasn't filming, we wouldn't have all this information. We would have just had their lie. It would be like Keith Porter, okay? The guy that nobody really talks about because nobody was filming when it happened. So the number one thing you can do that's not violent, that's not illegal, that's not doing anything is just, if ICE is in your city, go out there and film. Go out there and film. Now, beyond that, okay, whatever happens, whether this thing becomes like citizen patrols or whatnot, maybe that'll happen in some neighborhoods like they do in Philly with the Black Panthers. Maybe some neighborhood militias will take up and start protecting neighborhoods. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. I know that for me personally, I am going to go to a shooting range and I'm going to learn how to handle and operate a gun. I am not buying a gun. I am not going to arm myself, okay? But what I will do, okay, is I am going to, in the situation that I have to know how to use a gun, I do want to be prepared, okay? So I'm going to do that personally. I'm just going to make it so if I had to defend my state, I would at least not be handed a weapon for the first time, okay? That's what I'm going to do personally. But guys, I want to talk about what we need to do with the election year, okay? And this is something important because today, guys, okay, you ready? Today, Virginia did something today, okay? This is why elections are important locally, okay? Virginia passed a law today, okay, let me find it. Right here. Look at this. This happened today, okay? And this is big, okay? You ready? This is big. Virginia bans immigration enforcement near polling places. Now, here's why I want to talk about this, okay? Because this right here, this is a result of local elections, okay? They elected a Democratic Attorney General, Jay Jones, Democratic Governor, Virginia Abigail Spanberger, okay? They have like a lot of a Democratic legislature there. They passed a bill banning immigration enforcement near polling places. I believe other states are going to start doing this. Now, we need to one-up this, guys, okay? Because listen to me. First off, I want to tell you something. First off, Donald Trump cannot stop the elections, okay? He cannot. No martial law, no insurrection. He could declare war and the elections go on. We held elections in the Civil War. There is nothing Donald Trump can do to stop the elections. Nothing, okay? However, what he can do is he could have ICE show up at all the polling places and harass every voter of color and do what they're doing now, which is just arresting people and the voters of color, okay? So he can suppress the vote. However, here's the deal. If we pass a bunch of laws restricting ICE from being near these places, and then Virginia has their National Guard out there to protect the polling places on the day of. But then I want to add one more thing, guys. I want to add us, okay? White people in America. In this election, we have to use our privilege. We white people have to show up en masse at the polls, and we have to protect the people of color. We have to get them there. We have to make sure that they can vote without being harassed, okay? We have to get actively involved here in helping our fellow citizens that are going to be targeted by these MFers. And we have to part the Red Sea for them, guys, and make sure we get them to the polls and we prevent anyone from harassing them. Okay. That is a mandatory thing that you got to do. You can start locally in your neighborhood. You can contact your election facilities, contact your local Dem office. It is something that we're going to have to do, especially you live in a country where there's a high population, okay, of people of color. Because guys, we have the power to do this, okay? We have the power to shepherd some people and to throw our weight around a little bit. And I know it's hard to watch because we just watched a white person get gunned down and it is scary and it is frightening. But guys, the thing is we got to do this. Was I mad before whites started dying? Dude, I was protesting in 2020, boss. Don't even start that shit with me. All right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you're talking to me, but don't get lippy around that stuff, dude. I've been standing up for people of color my whole life. All right. And for the LGBTQ. So I don't want to hear any lip about that shit. If you're directing that shit at me, I will fucking bounce you. I will bounce you all real quick. All right. Yeah. But we're going to have to do this, guys. Okay. We're going to have to protect the people they're targeting. All right. We are. We're going to have to protect the people they're targeting. It's just really important. You know what I'm saying? It's really important. But guys, can I just tell you, just for my own personal thing, and I'm going to share this personal story. For me, guys, I got a taste of the racism shit real early. Okay. And I got it both in seeing it and then seeing the reverse of it. Okay. Because one, when I was little, kindergarten through second grade, I lived in a town called Elkhorn, Wisconsin. It's 3,000 people. There was one black guy. Okay. He was married to a white woman. They had a white daughter and a black daughter. They were our neighbors on a cul-de-sac. Okay, his name was Fred. He worked at the Andes Candies, like the candy factory, right? My dad was a truck driver. My dad and Fred were like best friends. And so I watched my dad defend this guy. Occasionally, my dad got his ass kicked, like stepping in and trying to protect Fred when people would attack him. Now, as a kid, I witnessed this and I was like, why are they attacking Fred? Because I'm a first grader. I don't understand the concept of racism. I didn't understand any of that, okay? I understood it later. But I did notice Fred, and, you know, there were N-words and shit like that. Like, this was noticeable shit. It was out in the open, 1970s Wisconsin, okay? But then we moved to California, okay? And in third grade, we moved to California, summer before third grade. Now, here's where my mind was blown. Because we moved to California and there were all kinds of races. And it was different. Nobody was calling anybody the N-word, okay? There was like people having neighbors that were people of color and commingling in a very different way. Now, I went to a school in North Hollywood that my cousins went to. It was called the 𝗙ecie Street School, okay? This was third grade. I had an accent. I dressed a little differently because I was wearing like, you know, Wrangler jeans and tough skins and sort of like Wisconsin poor working class stuff. So I got made fun of by a lot of people. I had stained teeth and people called me really nasty like names with my teeth. And it was the black kids at that school that protected me, dude, which is weird. I didn't ask them to. They literally just instinctively in third grade, there was a small, I don't know, there were like 25 of them, and they literally like took me in and protected me from the bullies. And so that was mind-blowing to go from a small town where everybody was attacking the black person to the black people protecting me from these bullies that were making fun of the way I talk. And it was just like I had this education by the time I was in third grade. So, I mean, that's how I saw it. And this was before I knew what racism was. I mean, as a kid, you don't understand it. I didn't think about any of that shit. And my parents didn't really give me any sort of perspective, okay? But the point being is like that sort of type of exposure made me realize from little on that like we need to take care of each other and that we can. And then later on, you know what I'm saying? Later on, you get out there and you realize that there's there's a lot of good community to be had, okay? There's a lot of good community to be had out there if you're willing to, you know, to be a part of it, you know? And like, guys, I'm not being a white savior here. I'm not here to like save people or any of that shit. I'm just simply saying that like we have the power to stand up for people, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? We have the power. That doesn't mean it's going to make a difference. That doesn't mean like, it's not like they can't defend themselves. They can. But I think a show of solidarity of like showing up and being there side by side with them. So whatever happens, we go through it together. I think that is important. And I think we should participate in that. Okay. We need to help. You know what I'm saying? We need to fucking help. And over the course of my life, guys, I have received a lot of help from people of color in my life. Okay. I have, dude, whether it was like my Hispanic neighbors that worked the night shift that used to come and have Corona barbecues at like 8 a.m. and they used to wake us up and we would go out there instead of yelling at them, we would go drink beers with them and eat carne asada and shit. And, or, you know, my black neighbors that had been conga players in war that turned me on to all kinds of like Louisiana cooking and shit. I have just been, you know, introduced to so much culture and so much like community that is different, right? Because I grew up in a lot of neighborhoods as a white guy where a lot of times you don't even talk to your neighbors. your neighbors are like fucking strangers. Like you go to a lot of white neighborhoods and all they really do is gossip about their neighbors. And you don't go out and just all meet together on the front lawn and do that shit in most neighborhoods. Maybe in some, but like, man, all the white neighborhoods I was in, everybody, mostly you just gossip about your neighbors, you know, it is like very different. Okay. Very different than what I experienced with neighbors of color, you know, there's like, and dude, I will say this, guys, I have never in my life experienced like neighbors of color that like haven't taken me in some way. You know what I'm saying? I've never been rejected by them. You know, Eddie Van Halen had a similar story about when his family moved to this country, black kids stuck up for and befriended him. That's crazy. I did not know that, PJ. But yeah, dude, that was really definitive for me. Okay, was like seeing who, you know, who like had my back and who didn't, you know, and. Dude, congrats on everyone's sobriety. Let's go, Roel. Thank you. So anyway, guys, I think we should look at some other stuff here, okay? Now that I made that statement. Now, again, look at this. Elon Musk is trying to weaponize this, saying, oh, voter fraud. Why would they want immigration law to be enforced in that area? And of course, because it's like, we know the game. We know what you're doing. We know they're even trying to kill us now to like scare us into not showing up. But guys, we're gonna keep showing up, okay? I can tell you, I can tell you Minneapolis, they're gonna keep showing up. I don't know what it's like in your city. I know here in Portland, there's no amount of police violence. There's no amount of attacking people here that will prevent the activists in Portland from showing up. We keep showing up. Portland really, like, I don't know, Portland changed me a lot in that way. It like making me realize that you really can use your voice. And I know I see a lot of, like, there's a lot of people that are down on the political system, or a lot of people that are down on the country, or down on, they feel powerless. They feel unempowered at all. And all I will say is living in a city like Portland made me realize that we have a lot of power, guys. We have power in numbers. We have power in our voice. We have power in our ability to reach out and create community, okay? Like we're doing here in this chat, like we do in the Discord, like you can do in your neighborhood to check in with people. Are you safe? How are you doing? Do you need anything? If you live in a mixed race neighborhood, we can all check in on our neighbors and see how we're doing and watch each other's backs. I mean, we had it here. We had a neighbor, he died last year, but we had a neighbor here that was like a watchdog. He sort of like looked out for everybody. And we're kind of like trying to figure out how to replace him, how we can become him, you know, because we had that, but he passed away. But I think it's really important that we keep showing up, okay? That we keep showing up. Now, I know everybody hates Chuck Schumer, and I know everybody's mad at the 7 Democrats who voted for that group spending package. But as predicted, okay, Chuck Schumer did announce today that, again, we better hold him to it, but he did announce, right, this, okay, where he said, you know, what's happening in Minnesota is appalling, unacceptable in any American city. Democrats sought common sense reforms in DHS spending bill, but because of Republicans' refusal to stand up to Trump, the DHS bill is woefully inadequate to rein in the abuses of ICE. I will vote no, and Senate Democrats will not provide the votes to proceed to the appropriations bill if the DHS funding bill is included. Now, this is important because we have some power in the Senate, so let's see how this works out. But for right now, he says he's shutting it down. And now, guys, we'll see how they follow through with this, because I believe that there is popular support to weather a shutdown after this. So let's see how this plays out. But at least, you know, he's for the moment making a stand. I know we've been burned by him before, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due, okay? Because, guys, here's the deal. You know, if we're going to call people out for their mistakes, we're going to give them credit when they do something good. And then hopefully he's going to follow through with this. I'm not super, like, I don't 100% believe it, but I am going to continue having faith and believing we're going to do the right thing. And then if I get let down, we're going to do it all again. Because, guys, I want to say this. I want to say this right now that I want you guys to hear me because I think it's important to do this. What I am seeing a lot of on people that are left of MAGA is I am seeing a lot of people that are resentful and they're jaded and they no longer believe in our political system and they're like giving up. And so what I want to encourage you to do is I want to encourage you to believe in people, let them disappoint you, get heartbroken, get angry, try to hold them accountable, and then continue to believe that eventually we will get to somebody who won't fail us. Okay? Right? Which means, right, we have to continue operating in the system with faith, even when it fails us, so we don't turn into apathetic, resentful people, because we can get failed by Schumer 1,000 times, and eventually somebody's going to show up that's not going to let us down, okay? And we can be not letting ourselves down locally in the way that we're showing up, not waiting for Chuck Schumer to save us. Now, the danger is if you just believe nobody out there is going to help you, and if you believe, like somebody earlier today said, the Democrats are just as bad as the Republicans. If you believe that way, you're already finished. You have already been taken over by the fascists. Because the number one thing the fascists want you to do is they want you to stop believing in your own side. They want you to believe your own side is as bad as them. That's how they win. Okay? So the thing is it doesn't matter. Some of these leaders are going to fail us, and some of them aren't. But we're going to stick with the ones that aren't. We're going to continue trying to hold the ones in leadership accountable. But even if they let us down 1,000 times, we're going to keep participating, and then eventually we're going to replace them when we have the clout and the ability to do so. So the thing is don't let them like believe that your side no longer can fucking fix this. Okay? It's really important. They want to beat you psychologically. They want you to, right? They want you to believe that your side is cooked. So then you just give up. And I'm not going to allow that, guys. Okay? So we're going to believe in Schumer, and then if he lets us down, we're going to fucking boot his ass. And then if he does something good, we're going to believe in him again. And then if he lets us down, we're going to boot his ass. But we are going to keep like fighting for the fact that, all right, we're going to work with these guys. We're going to use their power, and we're going to keep pushing ahead. All right? And that doesn't mean we're like, you know, we're not going to be blind about it. We're going to realize who we need to replace, and we're going to try to replace them. But don't give up faith in our side, okay? Because the Democrats and the Republicans are not the same, and there are a lot of people in the Democratic Party that do want to fix this shit, okay? It's our government is complicated. 535 people, they all have competing interests. There's a lot of religious, you know what I'm saying, like fuckery going on. There is a lot of like psychological warfare going on, okay? And so don't take the bait, all right? Dude, on a long enough timeline, the good always wins. Yes, Ridge, that is true. Ridge is correct. The good always wins. We do. But so there we go. All right. And I like this. You ready? And look, AOC is on this too, guys. Look at what AOC says. Okay. We're going to trust in the AOCs and the Mamdanis. She said, this is the strength of response we need. People's calls and organizing worked. Thank you to all who mobilized. No action is ever too small. This is why we never give up. Thank you. And I think it's important, guys. We have to continue to have faith in our side of the system, even if they continually fail us, okay? Eventually, they will be replaced. But like when you become despondent and lose faith in the power of your side at all is when you have been beaten, okay? And we cannot, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down as a left coalition fighting MAGA, okay? We are not going to go down as a like eating our own side because of psychological warfare perpetrated by Russian online bot farms and a bunch of MAGA shitheads, okay? If I'm going down, I'm not going down cannibalizing my own group and my own sense of power, you know what I'm saying? Like, because of their psychological warfare. Dude, Casey, and this never would have happened if a Dem was president. Yes, you're right. If Kamala was here, we don't have to deal with this shit, okay? And then, look at this. Dude, Tiana, oh my God, Tiana coming in hot. Oh, let's go, Tiana. Kia kaha, stay strong. Let's go. Thank you, Tiana. Appreciate you, boss. Let's go from Australia. Australia. Dude, I'm going to put some shrimp on the bobby. Let's go. Dude, I know my Australian accent sucks. The only accent I can really do is an American hick. I do that real well. So I grew up around that shit. Oh, shit, hell, come on. Dude, evil thrives on apathy and cannot survive without it. Hannah Arendt. Yes, thank you, Benjamin. Appreciate that, boss. Let's go. All right, let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Oh shit, dude. Yeah, we're not going to obey in advance, and we're not going to give up the faith. Okay, that doesn't mean we're not going to get our hearts broken 1,000 times. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I think it's hard. I think the thing that's really hardest about this, guys, is that we're all okay. We're all, you know, we're all in uncharted territory, okay? We knew this was going to be bad, but I don't think we knew quite how bad it was going to be. And there's a good chance that it's going to get significantly worse. You know, I don't want to scare you off. And I don't want to make anybody like crash out, but I think being under the assumption that it's going to get significantly worse, so therefore when it does, you're just like, okay, like I'm ready, you know. Let me just tell you. So I want to share a personal like drug addiction anecdote. Okay, guys, you ready? So in the throes of my addiction when I was younger, I was doing some IV exploration with white powdered drugs, okay? And I was really wounded. This was long before I knew about the SA in my you know upbringing and the abuse at the hands of my half brothers and shit. But I was a wounded child that went to UCLA, and a couple years later I was like, you know, IV drug using. And what was crazy about this is those who've experienced that know that you go through this seeking period, that when you run out of drugs, okay, what would happen is I would go on a run for 1 day, 2 days, 4 days, 7 days, 10 days. And eventually you run out of drugs. And then at that point, I would do what I called a carpet crawl, where I would get down on my hands and knees, okay, and I would go back and forth on the carpet looking for a piece of dropped drugs, okay? And because I had cats and there was cat litter, you would squeeze it, and if it didn't crumble, it was cat litter. But I went over that carpet for hours during the come down, like a human vacuum cleaner looking for this stuff. And I did it every time I came down from a bender. And guys, if you think about a life like, that's where your drug partying ends up. Like, man, that's pretty, like, heartbreaking that that's where you end up, where you're being driven by this drug and the need to try and, like, get high some more, but you don't have any more. And so you go through this ritual. And now for me, I didn't judge it, right? I'm not a judger. I was not ashamed of myself. It was just my ritual. I would put on music and I would go on this crawl, and then eventually I would write songs about the experience. But it is a thing that drug users, that addicts do, okay? Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, guys, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I don't do that anymore, okay? I am coming up on 19 years of sobriety, and I don't do that anymore. And in fact, I have gone through years of therapy. I've gone through EMDR. I've healed a bunch of childhood trauma. I've been able to interact with my son and my girlfriend in open ways, and even being able to work through triggers in the moment because we've done so much therapy and so much healing. So my point is that we can fix this, okay? This is not a hopeless situation, okay? You can be at a place that looks like bottom, smells like bottom, feels like bottom, but it does not have to be the bottom. So I am sharing this story with you because everything we're going through here in America with MAGA and the ICE and the killings and the murder and the oppression and the religious theocratic thing, it's not over, guys. We may be doing the carpet crawls right now, but like, it's not going to end there. That's not the end of our story, okay? That is, in fact, we're just the beginning of like the new America we're going to build in the wake of this disaster, okay? And if you don't believe that it's possible, then just stick with me because I believe it. I know it. I know it in my bones, okay? It is like, I have zero doubt. Okay, I am 100% sure that like the good days are ahead. You know what I'm saying? That like we do have to stay in there. You got to keep crawling until you find a way to jump off that fucking, you know what I'm saying? Until you jump off that like, conveyor belt of, whatever it is, of servitude or disaster, you know what I'm saying? To thine own self be true. Let's go, JD. Let's go. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So that's my point. My point is like, we're not done. Okay. We're not done. We're not going to be down here forever. Dude, let's go. Thank you, Chet. Appreciate you. By the way, Trump's been defunding all the drug programs. Many people won't be able to afford opioid treatment. Yeah, no, I know. And if they can't get opioid treatment, though, we can get them into NA. NA is free, okay? You can get off that shit, including, like, if they can't get opioid treatment, you just got to get in a room with other addicts who have done it. And I know it sucks. Again, it's another obstacle, but it's not impossible. Even without the treatment, right? I've seen people in NA take, like, dope sick addicts and, like, nurse them back to health. We're out there. Okay, the people that will do the legwork are out there. It's hard. You got to get them in there. You got to but those obstacles we can overcome, guys. We shall overcome was a statement. I'm just telling you, it's like, it is fucking Suboxone work for you. Nice. And I mean, you got to just keep the faith, baby. You got to keep the faith. This is when faith gets tested. All right. I'm glad you made it though, boss. Dude, I'm sorry that YouTube is censoring, but guys, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you feel like it's too much, just don't be too hard on yourself. Okay? Don't be too hard on yourself. Cause like there's a lot of feelings going on in the world right now. Okay. Now let's look at a couple other of these situations. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We do have to look at a couple other things. I feel like we've covered that. I do want to read the victim letter. Okay. The parents, Alex's parents wrote a letter. First off, I do want to share this. This was something that you see, right? I can't remember who I cribbed this off the internet. It was going around. 𝗙𝗪 𝗠𝘆 was posting it. A bunch of people were posting it. But it's ICE walking away with a cell phone and a gun, and you have the Statue of Liberty, and you have the scales of justice. Okay, this is like the judicial system. This is the country welcoming you're tired, you're hungry, you're poor. You know, that inscription at the base of the Statue of Liberty, and says stupid bitches should have complied. Okay, now I don't think complying with a lying, oppressive government we should not. Okay, we should not comply. That could look like a very many different things, but this idea that they're going to shoot us, they're going to lie about it, and they're going to create these fake narratives, and then they think we're just going to go hide in our houses while they kick our doors down with no warrants. No, that's not going to happen. This is America. This is America, motherfuckers. Okay, we are not going to simply comply with no resistance. Okay, we're not. We're not. It's not happening, guys. You know what I'm saying? Dude, it didn't happen to me when I had an authoritarian dad threatening me, even down to him trying to make it so when he would hit me, he wanted me to stop crying. I was like, no, he would hit you harder if you cried. And so I cried and I took the hits. I was like, hit me harder then. I will not become numb to the pain you're causing me. Okay, right? That's what my dad wanted. He was like a sociopath. He wanted to hit me to the point of where I would become numb like him. And I was not going to do it. I continued to feel, and I continued to show him my feelings. And then he had to deal with experiencing that emotion. He was not going to turn me into a feelingless animal. And it didn't care how much pain he caused, right? And that's one of the lessons I learned early, is that they try to beat it out of you. They try to beat the like emotion out of you till you become numb like them. But we're going to stay like not numb. Okay. And like, guys, I don't know about you, but I can walk through a lot of pain, guys. Okay. I have a capacity for surviving a lot of pain, whether physical or emotional. I'm resilient. I am a resilient, powerful human being. And I suspect you are too, all of you. You know, sometimes we don't feel like it, but like we are, guys. Okay, we are. We're a lot more powerful than people that try to like bully you with guns and weapons and, you know, a mob of people. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, put your hands down so she could smack you in the face. Dude, that shit is brutal. I'm like, you're going to work for that shit. You're going to work for that shit. And I tell you what, though, guys, you ready? I mean, part of it was like, I guess my own vengeance, because my dad would like hit me and I would cry and he would hit harder and we would go through this rigmarole. But like, I would look at him afterwards and like, he was not okay, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could see it. I could see that even though it hurt being hit by my dad, I could see that he was like really way more messed up. And I was okay with that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep standing up and I'm going to keep like making sure I don't become that guy that is flailing and rage attacking and has no control over his emotions. And meanwhile, he's hurting himself. Like my dad was hurting himself by taking all his rage out on me, you know? And I was not going to turn into that person, you know? And sometimes that's the most powerful thing you can do, is to just not become it, you know? And I mean, this is the MAGA too. They want us to be fucking jaded and hopeless and feel powerless and hate and resent everything and everybody and all that. They want us to end up in their shitty condition. And we don't have to, right? We can continue to fucking show up, take the pain, never give up, continue resisting, and see this shit through. You know what I'm saying? Dude, radical empathy. Let's go, Jess. I like that. That's a great great statement. But yeah, that's a powerful cartoon. But anyway, let's go look at this. So look, guys, you ready? Again, here we go. We have a leftist with a permit for a gun that he never pulls out. Okay, doing nothing, not looking for trouble, simply filming, trying to defend a woman. He gets gunned down, and all of MAGA is like, this guy, you should have complied, you should have complied. We have a right-winger who crosses state lines with an assault rifle, walks it openly into a protest situation, looking for trouble. The cops don't wrestle him to the ground. Even after he shoots people and kills them, the cops are like taking photographs with him and doing the little OK sign, the little white supremacy sign. Okay, so you see, the Second Amendment is not, right? Is not fucking, the Second Amendment rights are not the same for us, guys. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? And then he did this fake shit. Okay, let's not forget. Okay, let us not forget, though, where Kyle Rittenhouse ended up. Right? You ready? He ended up here, guys. This is where Mr. Tough Guy with a gun ended up, doing the worst fake crying ever. He's got his little hand down here holding his diaphragm and like, trying to pretend like he felt so bad so daddy government would not tread on him and give him a, make him, it's okay, we're going to let you off. Boys will be boys. Little MAGA Kyle. Trumpy. Let me rub it. Right? Dude, he looks like he's having an out of control bowel movement. Dude, don't be Kyle, bro. All right? Let me just tell you, okay? Let me just tell you that Alex Pretti, we would never see Alex Pretti engaged in this. Okay, guys? You know what I'm saying? We're never going to be this, guys. Okay? We will not. I may end up dead, but I'm not going to end up this. And I'd rather not end up that. Like, dude, look at that. Isn't that pathetic? Bro. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter, though, the money, because, it does suck that they got tons of money. But at the end of the day, okay, money's not going to solve that chaos. Okay? Now, AOC, she made a little statement here.
An ICE officer had pushed violently a woman to the ground, and he had come over to help get her up. And that is what precipitated this incident that very quickly led to an execution, a deadly shooting in the street. What we are seeing here is a momentous, pivotal moment for the United States.
This is it.
And I cannot underscore enough how precipitous this moment is. ICE and CBP, what we're seeing here, we will see which agencies were responsible. But at the end of the day, under this so-called excuse of border security, where Minneapolis is over 300 miles from the United States border, we have an unleashing of federal agents and violence exerting a tremendous amount of violence and lost life against the American people, who are well within their First Amendment rights, and in this case, it seems as though well within their Second Amendment rights. As you mentioned earlier, in this video, you do not see immediate evidence of anyone reaching for a firearm.
Yeah, dude, I mean, it was an execution. And again, what started it? They abused a woman, and this guy stepped between them and the woman. That's what started it. You know what I'm saying? And so Fuzz, when it says how many last straws do we need, as many as it takes. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody has the answer here, right? We're right. You got to realize there is not an answer here. Okay, we don't have an easy answer. All right, everybody, but as many as it takes. Okay, so if it takes one last straw, or if it takes 100 last straws, or if it takes 1,000 last straws, we just keep having those last straws until we win. Right? All right, you ready? So let's read the parents' statement. This is important. I think though, you know, guys, it's like the more savage these things get, the more it fucking, you know, eventually you hit a tipping point. Okay? I mean, if we go back to the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement in the 60s, there were some tragedies. There were church bombings. There were, you know, civil rights activists that were kidnapped and murdered. Okay. There were National Guardsmen firing into packs of college students at Kent State. I mean, there were many last straws and nobody, you know, it takes what it takes. That was the saying we had in AA, right? Some people, they hit rock bottom once and they get sober. Some people hit rock bottom 20 times. And what's hard now, guys, is we're more desensitized. Okay. We have seen more state violence. We have seen school shootings. We have seen people of color get murdered right in front of us. We have seen MAGA make excuses for this shit. So we're desensitized. So I don't know how much it's going to take for us. Okay. I don't know how much it's going to take for us because unfortunately we have become so desensitized ourselves because we keep watching this violence to where it's like not even really anything we haven't seen before, you know? I mean, it's just another version of the same shit, right? You know, I mean, we didn't clamp down when Adam Lanza went in and gunned down, you know, like 8-year-old kids. So yeah, and guys, if you can't watch the video, like don't watch it. Okay? I recommend like don't watch it if it's going to be traumatic. But yeah, I don't know how much it's going to take but I do know that we're going to get out of this. Okay? I do know though that we're going to suffer and then we really have to good night Minnesota girlie. If we come through in November, we have an historic opportunity to flip a lot of seats, okay? We can flip, you know, House seats, Senate seats. We can flip state House and state Senate seats. We have a historic chance here, guys, to show up like an atom bomb in November, voting-wise, and to take a lot of power back and to start legislating. And I honestly believe that some good legislating will come from this. I think people are being changed by this. I saw something here from 𝗪𝗛𝗓, okay, that I thought was a pretty bold statement. Look at what 𝗪𝗛𝗓 said. This guy, he's a Christian, like, do-gooder, okay? This is not a guy who's lippy. You know what I'm saying? This is ICE IDF trained. No, ICE are not trained at all, dude. ICE are fucking trained by pork rinds and fucking WWE. All right? They're not trained for shit. But look at what 𝗪𝗛𝗓 said, okay? He said, look at what he said, dude. Let me find the statement here. Right here. Look at this, dude. They shot Renee Good in the face. They kidnapped Liam Ramos. They just executed a man on the street. Unmask them, prosecute them. No more secret police. Okay? This guy's running for office. Okay? Now, that's a bold statement. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean if 𝗪𝗪𝗪, you know what I'm saying? If 𝗪𝗪𝗪 gets elected, maybe he can't just automatically make all that shit happen, but he's standing up. He's using his voice. I think that's pretty bold for him. Okay? I think that's pretty fucking bold for him. And I'm going to give him some credit there because I've been, I'm a little I've been a little hard on this guy. Okay? Because I don't necessarily trust white Christian men, but I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt. And then I'm going to let them disappoint me, guys. And I encourage you, I heavily encourage you, okay? I heavily encourage you to fucking, to allow yourself to believe and get hurt, okay? It is better for you to trust and feel rejection and disappointment and anger than it is for you to be so jaded that you just don't believe anyone anymore. Okay? Because if you get so jaded that you just don't believe anyone anymore, you may end up one of those MAGA shitters. Like, it can happen, boss. It can happen. And yes, elections will solve this. All right, Thomas, stop saying that. Stop acting like elections won't solve this. If we take back the House, every one of these people is under investigation every day. Yes, I'm taking you out of the chat. I am not going to have any of you negatives that say elections won't solve this. That's bullshit. We absolutely, if you, Thomas, you got something other than elections you want to do, go do it. Okay? But we're not fucking losing faith in the election, and we're not going to argue with you in chat the whole time while you want to just cry about there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. I mean, we're going to do other shit. Okay, we're going to take stands. We're going to show up in mass. We're going to film ICE. There may be citizen militias, but we are going to do this election a fucking 100-fold. Okay, and if you are somebody who is going to cry and say it's too late, elections won't do anything, fuck the election, I'm removing you from my chat because you're an obstacle. Okay, you are already trying to infect us just like MAGA are. Okay, now they're not the only thing. That's not simply going to be it. We're going to do elections and we're still going to have to fight to hold our people accountable. And we're still going to have to protest. And we're still going to have to stand up and battle. Elections don't mean we're going to have no work afterwards. But elections are a very powerful part of the process. You control the House and you control the investigative arm. You control the investigative arm, and that is force. Okay, that is a means of force. That is a means of holding people accountable. That is a means of uncovering stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so that is very, very, that's very, very important shit. You know what I'm saying? Hassan is live on Twitch. Okay, but we're live on Twitch too. All right, we don't need to know that. Nobody cares about him being live on Twitch. All right, thank you very much. Let's go. So, all right. So you know what I'm saying, guys? We're not going to be infected. And I'm telling you right now, okay? Elections are not the only solution, but they are part of the solution. They are a very important part. And anybody who says that they're not, okay? Anybody who says that they are not, guys, is not part of the solution. Okay? They are, right? The people that say they are not are people that are trying to agitate you. They're trying to make you hopeless. They're trying to provoke some sort of anger response. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Right? You know, that's what I am fucking talking about. Don't let those guys fucking pollute you. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Don't let those guys pollute you. Okay? All right? You know what I mean? Because guys, there are some people, okay? There are some people that I think, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, I'm not buying into people that are trying to start this drama. I know, Bradshaw. I'm just timing out people that are doing that. There are people that are trying to agitate or they're trying to whatever take over the chat, but they're not. I'm timing people out. We're not having that. We're not having that anymore, boss. I'm not falling into that trap anymore. there are people, I know, no, there are people that are like agitating because, guys, there's some people in our country that just want to instigate feelings of hopelessness and anger and rage, and they're trying to make people feel like voting doesn't matter, and so you should go out and like just trash shit or like rage. And like, dude, I'm not buying into that shit, okay? And you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even talking about like streamers or political people. I'm talking about just people that are in chats, that are on Twitter. Like, I see them all the time, okay? There are people that are, you know, in my replies saying shit like, you can't vote, like the voting won't matter, the Democrats are the same as the Republicans. They're just trying to instigate this idea that there's nothing you can do but commit some sort of violent reaction or whatever. But like, guys, I'm not going there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I mean, like I said, I'm going to learn how to shoot a gun. I'm going to learn how to like know my way around if we go. But the thing is like, if anything's going to be instigated large scale, we're going to let the other people do that shit. And then we're going to hold them accountable. Like the same way that they did, you know, in the 60s, right? It was like, you know, those kids didn't come out and attack the National Guard. Like some of them were victims of the National Guard. And so some of us are going to get victimized by this Gestapo, but we're going to push forward in a sensible way and in a way that, like, I don't know, I think, you know, violence is always your absolute last resort. Always. Absolute last. Always. Okay? And I think negative thinking like that are trying to create drama. There are definitely some people that for some reason are trying to create drama with me and Hassan. And I can only imagine if they're saying shit to him. I'm trying to figure out a way to reach out to him. I was actually looking at it last night because you can't message him on Twitter, but I am going to get in touch with him. I am going to talk to him because there's something going on where I feel like him and I like talking to each other, even if it's not on stream, even if it's not a fucking, you know, a stream thing, but just two guys that are in the political world discussing, I think would be really fucking important. I think he's an important asset and to the people left of MAGA. And I think I'm an important asset too, but I'm not going to like nurture hopelessness. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to nurture hopelessness, you know, and interact with that, because what they'll do, guys, is here's what they'll do is somebody will come in and say that shit. Oh, voting doesn't matter. And then if you say no, but it does, and you show them how important it is, then they will just respond with no, it doesn't. You know, it's too late. Oh, if you, anything you do, they will respond with the fucking negative. And then you'll talk to them for 2 hours and they will just be dumping because it's like, it's just their own sense of powerlessness. Okay. They feel powerless. I don't feel powerless, guys. Okay. I feel powerful, and I do. I feel very powerful, guys. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I really do. Pika said, some of us are going to die in this shit. Personally, I doubt there will be elections, but I will do my damnedest to vote and get people to vote in the midterms. Let's go, Pika. Let's go. Guys, I'm telling you right now, there will be elections. Okay? I guarantee you there will be elections. All right? There will. We had them during the Civil War, guys, and it was 100 times crazier than what we're experiencing right now. It was like hundreds of thousands of people dying, guys. Hundreds of thousands of like brothers shooting brothers and just insane warfare. And we literally had elections in the middle of that. So like, we're going to have elections. Donald Trump is not that powerful. He's abusing power. He is trying to fuck around, and he's trying to make you think he is God and that he can push the whole world around. But guys, you got to stick with the J.B. Pritzkers and the Gavin Newsoms. Even if you don't like them, even if you're not going to vote for them, you got to stick with them and fight. Okay? Don't bend over for these guys. Okay? Yeah, they can't even accomplish like rounding up a couple immigrants without murdering people indiscriminately. There's no way they can pull off a large-scale takeover of the country, guys. They are pathetic. Okay? They are. They are inept, pathetic, and they have no leadership. Okay? None. Dude, they have no fucking leadership. Okay? Even if there was, you ready? Even if it came down to an armed skirmish, a group of committed people with good leadership could decimate ICE. If there was a military thing, we get a couple of those generals that 𝗵𝗙𝗃𝗧𝗏 fired, and we get some left-wing National Guardsmen and military people together. Dude, those guys wouldn't stand a chance, okay? If it came to that, they wouldn't stand a chance, dude. 𝗵𝗙𝗃𝗧𝗏, nah. All right, come on, bro. It'd be like Red Dawn. Dude, I grew up watching Red Dawn. Like Wolverines! Wolverines! Dude, I'm not buying this shit. All right? I'm not fucking living in fear of this. Let's go. Dude, that's where I came from. Dude, I love that, dude. I had a mad crush on Leah Thompson, boss. Dude, Red Dawn? Dude, that movie came out when I was a teenager. I watched that thing like 500 times, bro. What a great movie. Dude, let's look at the fucking images, dude. Oh my God, dude. Right? That was the shit. I had the mad crush on Leah Thompson, dude. Right? Oh, there it is, dude. Right? Oh, shit. I had a mad crush on her, dude. Dude. Wolverines! Oh! Dude, let's go. Oh, dude. So good, bro. That movie was amazing. Dude. Oh, shit. Dude, let's go, dude. Oh, yeah, dude. Charlie Sheen, bro. Right? Let's go, dude. That's us. All right? Dude, this may be us, dude. Let's go. Am I kidding? So Black, here's the thing. You ready? I'm only going to say one thing about Gavin Newsom. There is no National Guard in LA anymore. Okay? Why? Because of Gavin Newsom. Okay? So I don't care what Gavin Newsom said to Ben Shapiro. And I'm not saying like Gavin Newsom is my guy, but Gavin Newsom beat Trump. Okay? He beat Trump. So did J.B. Pritzker. They battled him out of their cities. Okay? Out of their states. And so that is important. I don't give a shit what he said to Ben Shapiro. I look at what he accomplished by getting the fucking National Guard and setting precedents so Trump's not mobilizing National Guards. Okay? And so the thing is you got to stop. Well, you can do what you want. If you want to cry about Ben Shapiro and just sit on your couch and blather, you're allowed to do that. But I'm going to stick with the winners, with the people that have won in court and then have battled this guy off. And then I'm not worried so much about what people say. Okay? And again, that's not about an election. That is simply about recognizing that there are people that are beating Trump. And that's why Trump is picking on certain people. There's a reason why he's going after Tim Walz, because Tim Walz does not have that Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker fucking capability. You know what I'm saying? And so he is now going after like what Trump considers the low-hanging fruit, okay? Because he realizes that Tim Walz is an easier target, okay? And so I'm just saying we're going to get behind the people that are having an impact. And again, I don't care what they say. I honestly don't. I'm looking at what they're doing. And that's it. And that's how we have to recognize what people are doing, all right? I believe, my thing, guys, I just believe in my heart that everybody on the left is movable, okay? I believe that people on the left are movable. Now, there are certain people like Joe Manchin that was not movable, but he's not on the left, okay? And we're never going to let that guy be like one of the leaders. But the left is movable. I've seen them move. I've seen them move in my lifetime. I've watched it. So we just have to keep the pressure on. But let's read this statement, okay? This is pretty tragic, okay? It's like the left are movable, the right are not, okay? And the left are movable, man. We just got to stick together, guys. All right, you ready? You know what I'm saying? So this is from Alex's parents, and it says, statement from Michael and Susan Pretti. It says, we are heartbroken, but also very angry. Alex was a kind-hearted soul who cared deeply for his family and friends, and also the American veterans whom he cared for as an ICU nurse at Minneapolis VA hospital. Dude, he was a nurse at the VA. Alex wanted to make a difference in this world. Unfortunately, he will not be with us to see his impact. Dude, that statement. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, look at the parents' statement, okay? Look at that statement right there, okay? Alex wanted to make a difference in the world. Unfortunately, he will not be with us to see his impact. So his parents are acknowledging that this is going to have an impact, that they are going to become warriors because of this. You know what I'm saying? And like that, I think, is what I'm talking about, which is like the difference between, he's like, he was sacrificed for the cause versus no, his death is going to be the beginning, right? And they say, I do not throw around the term hero lightly. However, his last thought and act was to protect a woman. The sickening lies told about our son by the administration are reprehensible and disgusting. Alex is clearly not holding a gun when attacked by Trump's murdering and cowardly ICE thugs. He had his phone in his right hand and his empty left hand is raised above his head while trying to protect the woman ICE just pushed down, all while being pepper sprayed. Please get the truth out about our son. He was a good man. Thank you. Okay? And so, like, dude, that's a really good statement. You know what I'm saying? That is a really good statement because it's like, it's not like wallowing in tragedy. It's like they're acknowledging that, like, this is like the start. You know what I'm saying? They're acknowledging that this is the start, that they're turning this shit around, that they're going to be fighting, that you know, he is going to have the impact of making the difference. It's just, unfortunately, it's in a really tragic way, right? And want to play, okay, I'll look at that. What do we got here? Honoring a veteran who passed away at the VA.
Terrence Lee Randolph, March 30th, 1947, December 10th, 2024. Today we remember that freedom is not free. We have to work at it, nurture it, protect it, and even sacrifice for it. May we never forget and always remember our brothers and sisters who have served so that we may enjoy the gift of freedom. So in this moment, we remember and give thanks for their dedication and selfless service to our nation in the cause of our freedom. In this solemn hour, we render them our honor and our gratitude.
See, the thing about this, guys, is they didn't murder a blue-haired radical leftist. You know what I'm saying? They didn't murder a like communist. You know what I'm saying? They murdered a fucking patriot. A guy who, like, yeah, sure, he's a leftist, or maybe he's not. We don't even know who he voted for. We just know that he wasn't okay with, you know, a masked force terrorizing his neighborhood and his neighbors and his city. And so he showed up to film them, and then he stood in between a rogue, like, Gestapo guy who was trying to beat up a woman and he lost his life because of it. And you know what, guys? I'm telling you right now, I know this guy, like, if this guy were here with us right now, he would not regret what he did. Okay? I'm serious. I'm pretty certain this guy wouldn't have had it any other way. That, like, it's just, and this, guys, is not going to play well for them. Okay? All of this abuse, all of this overkill, all of this overreaction, all of this dictatorship type grasp. Like, guys, we don't have to fight this with violence. We can fight this with stillness, with resolve. You know what I'm saying? Even him, as he was being killed, right? He didn't fight back. He just resisted. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's something to be learned from that. Like, we don't have to become the aggressor, okay? We just have to continue to resist, no matter what. And all the tragedy and all of the murder and all of the overreaction, it's going to come from them. And it's going to tear them apart. And guys, this is like the shit I did with my dad, right? My dad was hitting me, and he was like, yeah, no, you need to stop crying. Steel up, stop crying. And it's like, no, man, we're not going to become them. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We are not going to be the aggressors. All right. We're not. And we're going to defend ourselves by continuing to resist. Alex Pretti, right? Dude, this is crazy. This is their worst nightmare though, guys, because, he did nothing. And there's nobody out there. Now, it was wild online. Can I just tell you? It was wild, like, it was wild how many people were in replies just openly lying. Okay, they were saying he drew his gun, like, even as you're looking at the video that shows he didn't, right? A lot of these right-wingers are still lying openly about this. Kristi Noem, yes, no, the Noem-mobile. And I saw somebody in chat say it should have stopped with Renee Good. Well, you know what, guys? No, it should have stopped with January 6th, guys. Okay? This should have stopped with January 6th. And this was literally the failure of the Republican Senate that wouldn't convict Trump on January 6th. This is a failure of, the media and all of us who let Trump lie about the election for 5 years after January 6th. And this is on us a little bit for letting Benjamin Netanyahu divide our Democratic caucus so they could take advantage of us. And like the Supreme Court failure. I mean, it's on a lot of people. But I think the Republican Senate could have ended this on January, whatever, when they took that vote. Okay, the Republican Senate, Mitch McConnell. And I mean, Mitch McConnell, he's got a big hand in this. Okay, that was pretty powerful. But guys, this is going to haunt them. Can I show you one other thing while we're on this? I want to show you his friend. Okay, this is a guy named Mark Becker. All right, this is a guy who has a radio show or whatever. And he says he never brandished his gun he was legally permitted to carry. He was holding his phone. An officer beat him, disarmed him, and he was executed. Alex touched many lives, including mine, as I sang in the Green Bay Boy Choir with him for years. Alex Pretti was murdered today. And so this guy knew him, okay? And so I want to look at some of these comments to just sort of honor this guy. From everything I've read about him, he was a great, compassionate guy. My condolences. He says, you are spot on. Your friend was a patriot. He certainly was. Courageously stood up to tyranny. Okay. Sending heartfelt condolences. And he's like, thank you. We must do better. I love how he says we, right? When does this end? And this guy says, I don't know. I'm stunned, right? And that's just it, guys. We don't know when it ends. But we do know that some things are important. this election in 2026 is very important. And don't let anyone tell you anything. It's not going to be the end all be all. It's not going to be a flip the switch fix. But the thing is like, it is important. It is very important. It may be the most important election of our lives. And we've been saying that about the last couple elections. And like, if we had listened to it in 2024, maybe we wouldn't be here. But now in 2026 and 2028, this is literally, these are the elections of our lives. And if we fuck this up, guys, it may well be time to move at that point, right? You know what I'm saying? If we fuck this up in 26 and 28, I mean, I don't know, dude. We may have to move. We may have to jump ship, dude. Canary Islands, here I come. Today is a day of heartbreak. What I saw was a stand-up individual defending a woman in need. I didn't have the privilege of knowing him, but I feel a deep sadness. Can't imagine the pain you're feeling. He said he was adored by many. Thank you. May we all learn and do better. Right? I'm sad for all of us. Right? Dude, I think this guy probably touched a lot of lives, and this right here, this is a terrible point in our country's history, right? Yeah, and guys, we're not going to let him spin this, okay? We're not going to let him spin this. And remember, guys, as I see it, okay, like I said, I grew up in an authoritarian, I grew up in an authoritarian, like a very authoritarian environment with a drinking, unpredictable, like violent father that exercised all manner of psychological warfare and emotional bullying and physical dominance and displays of violence, putting fists through walls, kicking your door in, and like trying to get you to submit. And let me just tell you, I watched brothers fight him with fistfights and get into fistfights and broomsticks and get beaten, and they too got emotionally wounded. The way I beat my father was not by fist fighting him. I beat him by never losing hope, by continually believing that I had the power to get something better, and I did not let him destroy my hope. I did not let him break my will to be able to fucking dig my heels in and not become him, okay? Not become a victim of the rage that he was taking out on me. And I watched my brothers, half brothers, who felt that same rage and they lashed out and they would get in fistfights with him. And like 20 years later, they were fucking damaged, guys. Like, I came out pretty unscathed, and it was related to the hope, to the belief that like, you will not break me, and I will keep coming back, and you will not browbeat my emotions and my fucking feelings and my ability to believe. You will not beat it out of me. You will not turn me into a resentful, angry, like hopeless individual. And that's how I won. And it's different. I am different than my half brothers. I am, guys. I am different, because of like not being broken in that way. He broke you. I'm sorry, Daniel. You know what I'm saying? All I can suggest is if you have been broken in that way, if you can get some EMDR, it's a really good, right? It's a really good thing for dealing with some of that, because I was kind of like teetering on broken for a long time, right? But dude, the way to beat oppression is with hope, guys, with hope. And it's not just like sitting around like, oh, I hope it gets better. No, it's like the hope that keeps you clawing, okay? That keeps you clawing, keeps you determined. Okay. And, I mean, I told that drug story about the carpet crawls, guys. And I hate to say this, because I know that those carpet crawls were like a low point of my life, obviously. But like, even when I was carpet crawling, guys, I was determined to find something on that carpet. And so I engaged in that endless and fruitless behavior of doing the carpet crawl. And I covered that carpet 100 times because I was not giving up, believing there was something waiting for me on that carpet until I eventually ran out of steam and just passed out. And like, that's the kind of resolve I'm talking about, whether it's operating at your lowest point or at your highest point. It is like just that resolve of like, you know, continuing to seek. Okay. Right. You know what I mean? Right. That's what I'm talking about. And sometimes it's as simple as showing up for somebody else, right? You can hit your low point and then you get out of self and you just show up and be there for somebody else. Like, you know what's funny? So Jenny is like really sensitive, guys. Okay. Jenny is like very, very sensitive. And so she takes in a lot of energy from the world. And guys, I am literally working like 18 hours a day. Sometimes I'm sleeping 3 hours a day. My sleep schedule is a wreck, like covering all this stuff and being active and like growing this channel. I am like, have way too much work and I'm still not getting everything I want done. But like, guys, when I see Jenny, like I still will take time out of my 18-hour day to like make a meal for her. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's that kind of shit. Like, no matter how busy you are, no matter how overwhelmed you are, to get out of yourself and step out and do something for people like that is really powerful. And I watch her do that when she's like, you know, did this winter solstice thing for a bunch of women that she knew, where she like guided this journey that they all took that was really powerful for them, right? It's like getting out of self and really getting nothing out of it, but like, even when you're overwhelmed, just doing a little something for somebody near you, it can be really a really powerful tool, guys. Don't ever underestimate the amount of like power we have, just even locally. Okay, if you're, you know, you're married, your wife is overwhelmed, like fucking vacuum the house for her. You know what I'm saying? Even after you worked your 12-hour day, come home and vacuum the house for her. Or if your husband is fucking overwhelmed and like, you know, he really needs something and you're really spent, maybe do a little something for him. Or your neighbors. You have some Hispanic neighbors, or you have white neighbors or Muslim neighbors or Christian neighbors, whatever. You have some neighbors that are struggling, that are overwhelmed, that are struggling with money. Like, I don't know, make a fucking a roast beef or something and go just take it over and give it to them. You know what I'm saying? Or like Amazon Prime them, like, you know, $100 worth of toilet paper or some shit. Or like buy a pizza for a homeless dude. Like anything you can do now to put more compassion and caring out into the world is going to be a net positive, guys. It's like, it's almost a requirement. Don't get jaded. Don't get bitter. Don't get defeatist. Don't get like steely and lose your compassion and become violent and aggressive and rageful. Okay? Rage is not going to get us out of this mess, guys. Rage is what got us here. Okay? The thing that's going to get us out of this mess is compassion. Okay? I'm telling you, man. Rage, it doesn't win, boss. Okay? It doesn't win. There are times where you use rage in moments, but operating on rage is not going to beat these guys. Okay? You're going to beat them with compassion. You're going to answer their rage with compassion and a steely resolve and an unwillingness to bow down before the fear that they try to fucking spit on us. Okay? And I'm telling you guys, I am living proof of this. Okay? Yeah, if you direct your rage into like actual action, if you're feeling rage, go call your Democratic office and say, God damn, I'm full of rage. What can I do to help this election go off? How can I help us win? Right? Or if you're feeling rage, run for office. fucking run for anything, school board, whatever, right? Get in the game, okay? Your rage should get you in the game, but it should not be something that just makes you an obstacle, negative. Oh, the election, the Dems, this, that, the others, everything, nothing's, we gotta get guns and fucking blow them up. No, all right? You hope this goes into a video? I'll make this go into a video, man. Dude, I'm serious. Like, guys, I can honestly say I have been fighting oppression since the day I was born, guys. Okay? Like, this is what I do. I survive oppression, okay? I know it's different. It's not at the same level as what the people are going through in Gaza or what the enslaved have done. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying I relate to what we're going through right now in America, guys. I grew up in a house like this. And I know a lot of other guys grew up in a house like this, okay? And with authoritarian fathers. And it's really triggering, man. You know what I'm saying? But like, dude, these guys, these MAGA shitters, they're not going to beat me, okay? There's no fucking way, bro. No weak-kneed Dems. There's going to be some weak-kneed Dems, guys. All right? Not everybody is made of the same constitution, guys. Okay? You need to understand that. Okay? We're going to expect a lot from our leaders, but not everybody can be a powerful fighter. Okay? Everybody's got their different shit. And some people can't stand up for themselves well. And you know, not everybody's going to be like, you got to be the change you want. If you think your leaders are weak-kneed, then you become stronger to support them, because we're going to have some weak people in the flank, but like we can't blame them. We have to like buttress and be their source of power or be our own source of power if they can't take care of us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the corruption, but we can't really do anything about corruption right now, guys. Right now, we just have to vote our way into having the power of investigation. That's all we can do electorally, is we need to flip as many state house and state senate seats. Like, dude, those local elections, okay, we need to flip those, as many of those as we can, and we need to get every Democrat, every non-MAGA person, right, every Democrat into every office we can. And then that's going to be the beginning. Then we're going to have to like build a coalition and try to navigate and force the party afterwards. Okay. But we're going to flip as many as we can. And then we have to put the pressure on, and we have to realize that not everybody's going to be perfect. You know, like not everybody's going to be perfect. And Storms, you're not always going to control when you say, oh, we need this or we need that. We need a lot of things, but guys, stop thinking about what we need and just get Democrats in seats, okay? There's going to be primary winners. Vote for what you want in the primary, but eventually there's a primary winner, and then that's your guy. And it doesn't matter if they're what you need or not. It's just you have to work with what you have. Okay, we need this, we need that, we need this, we need that, but you don't always have what you need. Okay, if you're out in the forest, you need shelter, you need food, you need fire, but you don't have any of that shit. You gotta work with what you have. You gotta take your 2 fucking sticks and try to make a goddamn fire. You gotta like find a fish trapped in a pool of water and try and capture it. Like, but the idea is letting Republicans win is what we don't need. And everything else is just a waste of time worrying about it. You just get every primary winner that's not a Republican into office in every fucking seat possible. And then we begin our journey of working with what we have, right? Yes, don't let the perfect get in the way of good. You know what I'm saying? We just need the power, okay? And that's, once we get the power back, we can start like hopefully pressuring people into action, you know? And I mean, dude, we need a lot. Don't get me wrong, but we're not going to get what we need. Okay. And yes, some are going to be conservative Dems, Black, because the thing is there are some districts that are red districts, and we would rather have a conservative Dem in the red district than a Republican. So yes, we are going to have some conservative Dems. They're going to be the Republican districts that we take over. So they are important, guys. Stop thinking that conservative Dems are not important. A conservative Dem means you have a red district. Okay? That's what a conservative Dem is. A conservative Dem is somebody that a liberal Dem could not win that district. So it's better than a Republican in that seat. And are they frustrating sometimes? Yeah. And are they going to be the enemy of progress sometimes? Yeah. But a Republican in that seat is going to be worse because we are on the 50-year plan. Okay, we're not on the 2-year plan, guys. We're on the 50-year plan. Okay, that doesn't mean you should vote for a conservative Dem in the primary. Don't do that. But if a conservative Dem in office is better than a Republican, you know what I'm saying? Settle for Fetterman? No, but the thing about Fetterman, though, is Fetterman promised one thing and became something different. So, yeah, we can primary Fetterman, okay? But the thing is the next guy that comes along, like, the point is like, you know, if the guy who replaces Fetterman might also be a little conservative, but you're hoping he's not going to be as bad as Fetterman. But, like, dude, you know, at the end of the day, Fetterman is still in there. We're still stuck with him. I'm not saying settle for him, but you still have to work with him if he's in there, right? You can't change Fetterman. Okay, if you don't live in Pennsylvania, there's nothing you can do about Fetterman. So complaining about him all day long ain't going to help you, right? But what you can do is you can vote for progressives in the local state houses and state senate, right? And my point is like you can't do anything about somebody who says they're progressive and then lies and flips. Like, that's not on us. You know what I'm saying? That's not on us. People thought he was a progressive. People thought Kyrsten Sinema was a progressive. They said the right things, guys. People listened to them and were like, oh, I like what they say. But with John Fetterman, you ready? You ready? Let me just tell you, there was a thing in John Fetterman's past where he pulled a shotgun on a black guy. And maybe we could have looked at that and said, that's weird. Maybe we shouldn't vote for this guy. But he said the right things. So people overlooked that he pulled a shotgun on a black guy, right? And so maybe what they say isn't as important as what they do, right? So maybe that's a lesson for us. You know what I mean? You know? And so the thing is, well, so here's the deal, Black Hercules, is a Republican would be worse. All right, that's my point. Even with Fetterman, yes. Is he better than a Republican in that seat? Yes, absolutely. He is better than a Republican because he's at least going to vote with us some of the time. So yes, like, given the choice between supporting Fetterman or letting a Republican win that seat, we'll take the Fetterman because he's going to vote with us at least some of the time. Okay, 91% with us. So yeah, stop with your fucking clownery of thinking, oh yeah, fuck Fetterman, let's let a Republican have that seat. No, we're sticking blue, all right? And I'm not going to fucking argue with you all night. If you can't do that, if you can't obey that social contract, you don't belong here. You need to go somewhere else, all right? We have a simple social contract to pick the better candidate and to not let the fascists fucking win elections. And if that means voting for someone we hate, we vote for someone who hate, right? We do. Like, our simple fucking, you know, social contract is that if we're going to be in the Democratic Party, we are going to not let Republicans win those seats. And so we're going to take a conservative Democrat over a Republican. All right. Now, if you ready? I've got a thing for you guys. You ready? Listen to me. If I'm going to put this on the table. If you have an issue with Fetterman, really, where you're like, man, fuck this guy, you should run against him, okay? If you are really a person where you say, I'm not going to vote for a conservative Dem, well, then you need to get into that district where only a conservative Dem has won it, and you need to run in that district on your progressive platform, and you need to then be the person that shows us. You need to be like Zohran Mamdani and actually do it instead of just running your mouth and telling people that, like, stop voting for conservative people. You either vote for the blue person or you get in there yourself. And if you don't, then I don't want to hear it. If you're not willing to run and be the change, then you have no business even talking about it. All right? It's like we either support our party or you get in there and fucking show us how it's done. Right? And that's it. You know, and that's that. I'm not going to argue with you negative Nancys. Okay? Because the conservative Democrats are in Republican districts. Dude, we have one right here. Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez. Okay? She sucks. She votes with the Republicans a lot because it's a Republican district. Her district, Trump won. Okay? Her district was a Republican district for years until a Democrat won it. She's won it twice. And the thing is sometimes she votes with them, but mostly she votes with us. And she is better than a Republican being in that seat. Even as frustrating as it is when she fucking votes for what her constituents want and kind of cucks us a little bit. You know, now, again, if you're a progressive, you can run for office. Just run for office as a progressive. Quit bad-mouthing the conservative Dems and get out there and win those Republican seats yourself as a progressive, okay? Like, be the progressive. If it's so easy, if it's, you know what we need, then just go out there and do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like real simple, you know? Right? It's real simple. But again, guys, you ready? I mean, for better or for worse, guys, I'm a member of the Democratic Party, okay? I am a member of the Democratic Party, okay? I am not turning my back on the party. I am not bashing the fucking party. Is it perfect? No. Do we have faults? Yes. Are there corporate people? Yeah. Are there AIPAC people? Yeah. Are there fucking people that are conservative in red districts? Yeah. Okay? There's a lot of faults, but they also did a lot of good shit. Okay? They passed a healthcare bill that allowed my mom to survive like 15 years, 13 years with cancer and have, 13 good years that she wouldn't have had without that healthcare plan. Okay? So they have done some good shit. Was it perfect? No. But it fucking helped. My kid had 18 years of insurance as a kid because of some work that the Democrats did. Okay? They're like my black neighbors. Okay? Like they enjoyed freedoms that their grandparents did not enjoy because of things that Democrats have done. Okay? And have they done enough? No. But they've done some good shit and they are not the same as Republicans. And they are not simply trying to fucking destroy us. Okay? Are there some that are rich and powerful and uncaring? Of course. Like there's problems. You're never going to have 535 perfect fucking people. Okay? There's going to be corruption. There's going to be imperfect. Everybody's going to have a million different issues that they value. But overall, the Democratic Party has fought for all of the good shit that we have gotten in America, whether it's gay marriage, women's right to choose, healthcare initiatives, right? Trying to reform like sentencing or what have you. They have not been perfect. A lot of them have made mistakes. They have let us down in a myriad of ways. But every good fucking thing that has happened socially and legislatively in the 50 years that I have been alive has come from the Democratic Party with all of its faults. So if you hate them, fuck off. Is what I have to say, okay? Because I'm a Democrat and I am a leftist and I believe in socialism and there's a lot of things I want, but I also believe in that goddamn party that I've been with for my entire fucking life, okay? So I am not going to have a chat of whiny bitches who try to tear down the party that I like. And I don't care if you think I'm fucking whatever, Okay? I don't care, but they are not the same as MAGA. And if you say they are, you're bullshit. You're doing MAGA's work. So GFY, baby, and get the hell out of here. All right? You know what I'm saying? That's what I have to say. And I'll put that in a goddamn video. We are not the same. All right? Now, that doesn't mean I don't want to work with the leftists and the socialists and the people, whatever. But if you don't want to work with the Democratic Party, then get out of it. Okay? Get out of it. Go fucking have your own whatever super party that you think is the answer. Go show us how many wins you get. All right? Go out there and fucking show us how you know everything about everything and you know how to win all these districts. Go do it instead of just running your fucking yapping your gums like a wasted goddamn space, all right? And that's not directed at any one individual. That is a general thing to our partners. Either we partner up together and we realize we're not perfect and some are going to be great and some are going to be bad, but we're going to stick together and we're going to do what we can and we're going to at least try to make incremental change together. Or if you don't want to be part of the Dem party, then fucking get lost. You know, smell you later. Go start your whatever. You know, go do it. Yes, Pika, let's go. I'm serious. Dude, I'm tired of fighting with people on my own side. Either get with us or fucking get lost. You know? And dude, I'm going to vote blue no matter who. And then I'm going to do the best with what we have. And I'm going to try to get the people I want in the primaries, guys. You know, the primaries are where you try to get your first choice. But if you don't get your first choice, then you vote blue anyway. And if you're not willing to do that, don't fucking complain about the political system. Because you have two choices in a two-party system. The system sucks. Okay, vote blue no matter who. And if you think that's a dumb take, you don't know how dumb you are. All right, Casey. Casey, letting it rip, dude. Let's go. Oh, shit, dude. You know, I'm serious, dude. I'm a Democrat, and I'm not ashamed of it. Okay? I am a Democrat, and I'm fucking proud to be a Democrat. Now, we have plenty of problems. We do. But guys, dude, we just have a two-party system, guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was talking to someone on Twitter today that said they voted for Cornel West because they liked his policies. Now, that's fine. You voted for Cornel West because you like his policies, but if you were in a state where like Kamala Harris could lose because of your vote to Cornel West, it's irresponsible for you to vote for Cornel West because you know that motherfucker ain't winning. Okay? So you're basically like saying, you know, you're going to choose the fucking unicorn. You're going to wait for the unicorn to fall down out of the sky instead of doing your social responsibility at thwarting fascism. Now, if you're in a solidly blue state, you have some privilege there and you have that type of integrity. But you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? It's like, but it is your job to pick the better of the two candidates. And right, you show up and you pick the better of the two candidates that are a winnable possibility. And don't vote for unicorns, okay? And again, though, if it's like we live in a free country. If you hate both parties, then you can run and win and go fucking show it, right? Let's go. Let's go, baby. Dude, win it. You know? Dude, Jill Stein protest vote. Yeah, dude, have you noticed Jill Stein's gone, huh? Right? You know what I mean? You know, Jill Stein is not around. Nobody's heard from her, right? She's not been fighting the genocide. I mean, did you notice that? Right? You remember her talking about the genocide, the genocide, the genocide? Where has she been fighting genocide since the election, guys? Anybody? Anybody? Wait. Yeah. Where is she? Huh? I haven't heard peep. Yeah, Josiane, can we talk about Pam Bondi letter to Tim Walz? Yeah, let's get into the letter to Tim Walz. All right, I feel like we've covered all this shit. All right, there we go. Thank you for that Instagram video, guys. All right, dude, I'm sorry. I'm not fully engaging. I'm not fully engaging. I'm not going to argue with people for 20 fucking hours. All right. And right. You know what I'm saying? Dude, Cenk just had her on TYT. Yeah. Well, all right. That shows you where Jill Stein is, dude. Dude, she's at the bottom of the barrel. Shake up the barrel and dig down to the bottom, and there she is. Oh, shit, dude. Oh, Janky. Oh, Cenk Uygur. Oh, Jilly Stein. Oh, let's go to Poly Market. Oh, yay, yay. Dude, Cenk Stein. Dude, Stein Cenk. Right? Cenk Stein, fucking 2028, bro. The guaranteed bottom feeders unite. Dude, the campaign ads write themselves. Where were you during the genocide? I was at the cash machine, right? Where were you after the genocide? I was at the cash machine. Oh, shit. Guaranteed to get a solid, like, 1.5% of the vote. Cenk Stein. All right. Yeah, no, let's look at the Pam Bondi letter, guys. This is chilling, okay? This is chilling, guys, because what comes out here is essentially we see that it's they're trying to blackmail Minnesota for election data. Okay? So what happens is this letter, guys, is truly chilling. Hold on, let me download these so we can look at them. This letter is fucking chilling. And you know what's chilling about it, guys? Is because of this. You ready? So what is absolutely chilling about this, guys, is that Pam Bondi, guys, Pam Bondi is not a part of DHS, guys. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like this is what is chilling about this Trump government is Pam Bondi. She's the Department of Justice. She has nothing to do with DHS. She's right, but we have the head of the Department of Justice writing to a governor and saying, hey, well, you're the reason why these ICE is being sent into the city. But if you wanted to stop, all you have to do is give us the voter data, unredacted voter data, which the government has no right to. And then Pam Bondi, who has nothing to do with DHS, is somehow going to stop ICE from terrorizing them. So the very sending of this letter, okay, the very sending of this letter is first off, Christian, when I tell me the moderators are not doing anything to you, boss, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're getting moderated, like when I look at you, just for the record, boss, okay? When I look at you, I click on you and like, dude, you, right? The thing is like, dude, you know, I mean, I guess my thing is they're fucking harping on you, right? Like the moderators are just here to keep it clean, boss. Right? So you're gonna have to buck up. All right? Nobody has said, you know, we were gonna fucking tolerate constant complaining. All right? We love you though. All right? I appreciate you. Right? Could be some YouTube censoring. You know what I mean? You know, and yeah, maybe there were some accidental timeouts. Those happen too. You know what I'm saying? Right? Yeah. Right? There, you know, and the thing is, guys, is I'm just telling you right now, if you keep harping on fucking streamer drama, we're gonna just time you out. All right? Right? You know what I'm saying? You know, like, we're not here to nurse your whatever streamer drama shit. All right? You can go talk to your therapist about that. I don't care. I'm not here to fucking play streamer drama games. But anyway, so the thing that's important about this letter, guys, is that this letter confirms that there is no separation of like these government sort of scenarios. That Pam Bondi is being directed by the same people that are directing ICE, okay? That you realize that ICE is being sent into this city in order to be leveraged by the Department of Justice when these things are completely separate fucking situations, okay? So here it says, you ready? Let's look at this. All right, it says, Governor Walz, the state of Minnesota has refused to enforce the law and the consequences are heartbreaking. I just don't believe she feels that, but whatever. Americans are watching politicians ignore federal immigration law, criminals attack federal law enforcement, and rioters storm church services. I write to urge a change. By the way, guys, just for the record, you ready? First off, all of this is lies, okay? These are sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities have been around since the 80s. They're not new. The federal government has always worked with the sanctuary cities. They are choosing to be militant and aggressive and refusing that. And they're only targeting certain cities that are also happen to be cities run by people Trump hates. Number two, no criminals have attacked them at all. We have not seen one ICE agent actually get attacked by a leftist, okay? Not one. And there were no rioters in the church services. That's why these people have already been let go, okay? These people have already been let out. They're already out. And they're still trying to charge a journalist, okay? Anyway. All right, so it says, in December 2025, the DHS launched Operation Metro Surge to protect Americans from the dangers presented by unchecked illegal immigration, including violent crime and drug trafficking. Since the beginning of this operation, law enforcement has put themselves in harm's way to arrest dangerous criminals, including members of notorious violent gangs. Criminal illegal aliens convicted of homicide, drug trafficking, SA, rape, blah, 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 and horrific crimes are now off the streets because of Operation Metro Surge. Now, guys, I would like to add that, like, we do have to acknowledge that local police are also arresting these guys, okay? This insinuation that no undocumented people or no criminals committing horrific crimes, like, those guys get arrested by local police and sheriffs all the time. This is fucking bullshit, okay? There are plenty of people in custody that have come from local policing, okay? Acting like Minnesota doesn't arrest people is bullshit, okay? Even the fraud that Nick Shirley talked about in his video, that fraud was discovered by the state of Minnesota, by their government, by their fucking investigative boards are the people who found that fraud, discovered it, and prosecuted it, okay? So you know what I'm saying? So the thing about this is acting like Minnesota doesn't prosecute criminals is bullshit, all right? They're targeting smaller cities to make it look like they're overwhelming us. They don't have the numbers we do. Yes, Battlefield. Let's go boxing. All right, you ready? Here we go. Unfortunately, you and other Minnesota officials have refused to support the men and women risking their lives to protect Americans and uphold the rule of law. Because Minnesota, Minneapolis, and St. Paul have chosen to ignore federal immigration law by enacting sanctuary laws and policies, federal agents led by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and U.S. Customs CBP have operated alone, and politicians in your state are not just refusing to help these agents, they are putting federal agents in danger. Now again, guys, sanctuary cities did not start with Tim Walz. Sanctuary cities has been fucking, right? Sanctuary cities have been around since the 80s, okay? And every administration, dude, has deported troublesome undocumented people and criminal undocumented people. Everybody's been doing it. Dude, Clinton and Obama, they deported many people. Many people, and they worked with sanctuary cities. George Bush worked with sanctuary cities. George Bush II worked with sanctuary cities. Ronald Reagan worked with sanctuary cities. Okay, this is not brand new. Okay, they have been around. Okay, Minneapolis Mayor 𝗙𝗪𝗧 said, "ICE, get the F out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here." Hold on, let me get this. Oh, shit. Bro, what am I doing? All right, there we go. Oh, I see. I can just go from there. All right, never mind. Hold on. I think I can go right from here. Oh, no, that's the wrong direction. There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. Dude, we do not want you here. You referred to our law enforcement as Trump's modern day Gestapo. Minneapolis City Council member 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 stated that the city must be ready to act as a last line of defense for targeted communities. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison has previously compared ICE enforcement to being under attack by the Nazis. Again, there is a reason why these comparisons were made. Part of them are the behavior of the president, Donald Trump, talking about this, using Hitler's language, using Gestapo language. It has been DHS and the Trump administration literally using Hitler-like slogans and white supremacist slogans. It has been the cutting of people out of their seatbelts, smashing of windows, multiple shootings, the admin lying about it, okay? Like denying shit like we saw today. There is a reason why they were called Nazis and Gestapo and told to get out, because they sent way too many of them in. They're wearing masks. They are hidden. They're breaking the law. They're not getting judicial warrants. They're disobeying the Constitution, and they're being aggressive, and there's no accountability for them. We don't even know who fucking murdered Alex Pretti. Like, come on. It's bullshit. The result of your state's policies and politicians' anti-law enforcement rhetoric are a national tragedy. Violence against ICE officers and agents has increased approximately 1,300%. But again, guys, this is like the sandwich throwers, okay? We have not seen one video of an ICE agent actually being wounded, okay? We have not seen one video of an ICE agent being wounded, right? Not one. I have not seen one. The only time I saw police actually in harm's way was when there were LAPD that were under that overpass and they were throwing cinder blocks at them. That was actually dangerous. We have not seen one. Okay, show me a video. Show me a video where one of these ICE agents is actually getting wounded. There's not one out there. So that's a lie. Vehicular attacks against ICE officers have increased 3,200%. That's a lie. What they're calling a vehicular attack is they're calling a fucking they're calling a car that blocks them an attack. Perhaps most disappointing, the lawlessness caused by these policies has bled into sacred spaces of worship. Spaces. All right, guys, let me just show you. Hold on. We do have to take a sidebar here. Because look, you ready? Hold on. Sacred spaces of worship. Pause for a minute here. Oh, yeah. Let's look at the sacred places of worship, guys. Church stormed by ICE agents in California. ICE agents raided church with no explanation. Operation Charlotte's Web. Right? Top DHS official defends ICE officer who shot pastor with pepper ball. Downey Reverend describes how ICE targeted her church. Like, dude, ICE are invading sacred spaces of worship. ICE are. There's been one protest at a church, a place of worship that some protesters went in, but they didn't even harm anybody. They didn't damage anything. But ICE has been raiding places of worship. So Pam Bondi, screw you, boss. Parishioners were met by an anti-ICE mob last weekend as several dozen individuals stormed City's church in Minneapolis to interrupt worship services, scream in the faces of frightened Christians and their families. Okay, yeah, we're sorry that happened, that some people like chanted in the church, but like, hey man, you're murdering people on the street, okay? I'm sorry. Murdering is worse, Pammy. Sorry, Spammy. And P.S., we're the Epstein files. The violence against our officers and the violations of religious liberties cannot be allowed to continue, dude. Wonk, wonk, wonk. All right, the lawlessness in the streets is matched by the unprecedented financial fraud occurring on your watch. Again, whatever financial fraud has nothing to do with this, guys. Like, again, this is the Department of Justice. Like, what is she doing? She's now adding the fraud to a church, to some bullshit stats, fake stats about ICE, right? And the out-of-control fraud in your state also implicates election security. No, it does not. It is a tragedy that Americans have lost faith in Minnesota's ability to keep its taxpayers' funds secure and its citizens safe. We have not lost faith. All right, you and your office must restore the rule of law, support ICE officers, and bring an end to the chaos in Minnesota. Fortunately, there are common sense solutions to these problems that I hope we can accomplish together. First, share all of Minnesota's records on Medicaid and food and nutrition service programs, including the SNAP data, with the federal government. Allowing the federal government to effectively investigate fraud will save Minnesota taxpayers money and ensure that Minnesota's welfare funds are being used to help those in need, not enrich fraudsters. But again, guys, they want this data because they want to arrest more of us. Okay, the federal government does not have a right to take state data. Okay, here's the deal. You ready? What the federal government can do is they can establish a regulatory system in the future that allows them to follow up on what they do with the money they give to the states, but they cannot ask the states for data. No, fuck you. You don't get the state data. If you want to change the way you regulate, you give funds, and you have a regulatory board that follows up, then do that. But you don't get to target our data. So you know who the poor people are. You know who you can take SNAP away from or whatever if you want to harm people. Like, they want the data because they want to harm specific residents, and they want to target people and try to like snafu this election. Okay? Right? But the thing about this is you can change the federal government and how you operate, but screw you, Spammy, in trying to take the data. All right? Here you go. Second, repeal the sanctuary policies that have led to so much crime and violence in your state. Minnesota does not have a lot of violence, guys. Minnesota does not have a lot of crime. Okay? Like, again, there's not a lot of crime. There's not a lot of violence. Every single red state has more crime and violence than Minnesota does. Every single one of them. Every single one. Let's go look at Columbus, Ohio. Let's go look at Monroe, Louisiana. Okay? Let's go look at any city in Texas. Like, this is bullshit. Removing criminal aliens from Minnesota neighborhoods will save lives, and state and local officials should support this goal. Again, you're allowed to be a sanctuary city. They've been around since the 80s. There are plenty of sanctuary cities. Okay, all detention facilities in your state should cooperate fully with ICE, honor immigrant detainers, and permit ICE to interview detainees in custody to determine immigration status. Now, again, look at that. You know what they want to do? They don't even have specific people. They want to be able to hunt. Okay, that's what Bondi wants. They want to be able to hunt. I urge you to reach an agreement with ICE that allows them to remove illegal aliens in custody of Minnesota's prisons and jails and avoids pushing these interactions into your streets. Third, allow the Civil Rights Division of the DOJ to access voter rolls to confirm that Minnesota's voter registration practices comply with federal law as authorized by the Civil Rights Act of 1960. Again, that is not a power enshrined by the U.S. government. They're basically saying, we're going to keep killing you unless you bow down to us. Okay? Dude, the prisons have nothing to do with the streets. This is all bullshit propaganda. But this right here, she's basically saying, give us your voter data and allow us to have data that we don't have a constitutional right to have. And if you don't do that, we're going to keep killing you. And dude, walls better not cave, dude. Fuck that. I am confident that these simple steps will help bring back law and order to Minnesota and improve the lives of Americans. The time has come for state and local officials in your state to change the course. As the chief law enforcement officer of the United States, I am committed to enforcing federal immigration laws and keeping every American safe. But you know what, guys? You know what? The woman who wrote this letter is now like 40 days of breaking federal law and not keeping American children safe by not unveiling the Epstein files. Okay? The woman who wrote this letter is non-compliant with a federal law that her own administration voted in. Okay? That her Republican Congress and her Republican president signed this law. They have not released the files. They are browbeating and they're lying and they are not obeying the law. So there is no reason to comply with them. Until they are compliant with the Epstein files law, everything she says is to be ignored. She is an illegitimate regime. She is a lawless representative of an illegitimate regime demanding other people comply with the law. It's like, screw you. You comply with the federal law that you're breaking every day, or like we're not even listening to you. Minnesota can and should be a partner with this administration. Do not obstruct federal immigration enforcement. Do not allow rioters, there's no rioters, to take over the streets and houses of worship, blah, blah. Do not hinder federal officials from investigating financial fraud, violations of election laws. Whether state and local politicians stand in the way or not, we will work every day to protect Americans and make Minnesota safe again, blah, blah, blah. All right, so, dude, this letter is bullshit. And like, screw you, Pam Bondi. All right, allow. Yeah, dude, they're literally the ones that are, like, protecting their citizens from being murdered by ICE. Screw these guys. Dude, what a crazy bullshit letter. Written by a woman who's breaking the law every day, guys. Isn't that crazy? Dude. That is nuts, guys. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, no, this is bullshit. But I guess, guys, the thing that's hard about this is I'm not too confident in Tim Walz. Okay, Tim Walz has a particular weakness of like, you know, giving in to force when applied to him. So hopefully he will hold steadfast in this and not bow down before it. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard, okay? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It is difficult because he is, you know, he's not been fucking super powerful, okay? Now, we are going to need to, like, when we get back in power again, we're going to need to demand some action. Okay? Oh, this is interesting. There's a poll, right? January 2026, 57%, slight improvement, right? Dude, when you don't have power, guys, in Congress, there's not a lot of fighting you can do. You know what I'm saying? That's what's really hard, okay? It's really hard when you don't have power. It's a complicated situation, you know? I mean, nobody has an easy answer for this thing, guys. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. I wish we did. If we had an easy answer, I don't think we would be here. We've never experienced this level of lawlessness, and yet the lawlessness is always contained in just enough acknowledgement of like laws and court orders that we fucking, you know what I'm saying? You say you just murdered. Yeah, but dude, I've seen 100 people murdered by police and or the government. Like, this is not new. I mean, it's tragic that Alex Pretti died, but to act like he's the first person, like, my God, I've seen at least 200 people murdered by the state in my lifetime, at least. You know what I'm saying? And heard about many more, but like, this is not new. The state murdering U.S. citizens is literally fucking like our reality. Or they're either murdered or they're letting like, you know, school shootings happen and never passing a gun law. I mean, it's like, it's brutal. But guys, all we can do is not lose hope. Okay? That's a starter. We got to not lose hope, even when we're frustrated and disappointed. We have to vote like our goddamn lives depend on it. Like, leftists got to get together, dude. Okay? We're not going to have a perfect coalition. Okay? We're not going to have a perfect coalition, guys. We're not. I wish we would, but you have to accept that both in 2026 and in 2028, we're not going to have a perfect coalition. Now, if you want to start a local militia to protect your neighborhoods, I fully endorse that. Any of you out there that are saying like, man, voting is not enough, you want to start a local militia and go protect your neighbors, like, dude, I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you say, like, you know, as long as you stay, you know, within the confines of like our Constitution, right? You know, like the Black Panthers do this. They're fine. They're not fucking going out there like waging war. They stay within the confines of the law. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I fully endorse you to do that. I'll be blunt honest. Beast Nation says, if I hear another purist leftist say Kamala would have been the exact same thing, I'm going to crash the fuck out. Dude, yeah, no, I get it. Dude, that, guys, that we're not going to tolerate, because Kamala would not have been the same. You know? Don't think you should be calling for gang forming. I'm not calling for gang forming. You know what I'm saying? Like citizen militias are fully legal, guys. And again, I said within the confines of the law. That is not gang forming. That is not law breaking. We are allowed as citizens of the United States to have like local militias like the Black Panthers do. I've made videos on that Black Panther guy, and those videos are fine. All right. They are not demonetized. I am perfectly within my realm of YouTube. Believe me, I am getting demonetized and pinged and warned and whatever probation. I'm having a lot of censorship issues, but I am staying very well within the letter of the fucking law here on YouTube. Okay. I am, dude. YouTube is not my enemy, guys. I don't believe they're my enemy. Even when they ping me, I realize that they're dealing with the Trump admin and they're trying to manage this shit and they're trying to keep the platform safe. And so we're going to sometimes run afoul and there's going to be shit. But I am sticking with constitutional rights. Don't worry about me though, guys. Like whether I get banned or get in trouble with YouTube, that is my risk. Okay, that is my risk. I am not going to censor myself with, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep going. We gotta keep, right? But I'm being smart about it. But dude, so let me just tell you, to give you an example of yesterday. So I had 2 videos that were pinged for demonetization on YouTube. I had 1 video on TikTok that was limited and they wouldn't put on the FYP. I had another video on TikTok that was removed for community guidelines violations. I had a video on Instagram that was throttled that just got like 40 views and sat at 40 views. Okay. And Of those, that was just yesterday. I had 3 tweets on Twitter that were reported and had visibility limited. Okay, that was 8 like censorship actions in one day. And the 3 tweets on Twitter, I didn't even bother appealing. I just deleted the tweets because I knew I would lose. It was like right-wing favoritism, whatever. If they had said the same shit to me, they wouldn't have been pinged. The 2 videos on YouTube that were demonetized, we won the review and they got remonetized. The community guidelines violation on TikTok, I won the appeal and the video got restored. The limited video on TikTok, I won the appeal and the video got restored. And then the Instagram video, I just deleted. But I did meet a German photographer who I had been following for a while that I had never spoken to, because while I deleted it, he was leaving a comment and it got deleted and he messaged me and we ended up talking a little bit about it. So that even led to a new connection. But so that was one day, guys. Okay. 8. Like, and I don't know what the other leftists are encountering, but man, there's a lot. Like I had not had that. I went all of 2024 with basically like not really having any types of those interactions, right? Do chat comments. So, I mean, so Fuzz, I think for the most part, it, you know, if egregious chat comments were happening and they went unmonitored, like that could have an impact, but for the most part, not really, right? Your chats really, they're not, you know, if I let you go saying a whole bunch of nasty, like community guidelines violating shit, then yes, that would be a problem. But if something slips by a chat and like, they're not going to fucking ping us for that. But I keep an eye. When I see something that looks too spicy, I just delete the comment. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But for the most part though, guys, it's just real simple. You can't run around just wishing harm on people. And you can't like do like threats of violence, okay? And there's no like ganging up on people. Like, let's just keep it like, you know, about like not being MAGA. Let's not turn into them, guys. You know, and that doesn't mean we're not going to fight dirty. We're going to use our words in the forums, right? Like, you know, we can go low when we fight them, you know, out on the online airwaves. But in here, we're here to like take care of each other. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And so we'll be all right. Like I'm feeling all right. I am. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I will say this, guys. I need you to understand that like even with the censorship, YouTube is not my enemy. Okay? They're not. I mean, you could start to feel that way, but that resentment will fuck you up. Right? You got to understand, even with these platforms, there are like hundreds of millions of hours of content. And so sometimes they got to err on the side of cautiousness in order to like prevent the negative shit from taking over. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes I do get caught up when they err on the side of cautiousness, but for the most part, you know, I know that YouTube is like on my side. They're not here trying to like, they don't want to harm me. YouTube's making a good amount of money from this channel, guys. Okay, this channel is a valuable asset to YouTube. They don't want to get rid of us. They want us to be big. Okay, they really do. This YouTube is like, they're making some good money, boss. All right, there is like, you know, I mean, we're not fucking Kyle Kalinske yet or Brian Tyler Cohen yet, but like we're at least at the size where they don't want us to go away. YouTube doesn't want this channel to go away, you know? So we're gonna keep it. Right? Oh shit. All right. Dude, the censors are very busy. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, guys. I will say this in advance, though, that we're going to have to be very careful on the day when Donald Trump, like, leaves this earth. I think that's going to be a very complicated day where we're going to all have to rein it in on certain platforms and be real responsible with how we react to things, okay? Right? You gotta, like, they have definitely instituted some new rules about, you know, after the Charlie Kirk situation, they have instigated some new rules about like, you know, how you respond to tragic events. Like, for example, if there are right-wing people that are talking about Alex Pretti on YouTube and they're saying really racy shit, that shit is going to be very costly for them. Okay? You know what I'm saying? You ain't no slouch punk. I know, Miracle. We're doing so good, guys. We really are. Like, I'm so proud of, like, this community. And I know sometimes we go at each other and, like, but I'm proud of this community. Like, dude, we have a lot of people. It's like 5, 7, 10, 12,000 people a night that are coming in here. And you know what I'm saying? Like hundreds of thousands of people that are convening here every month. Every month in the live streams alone, it's like almost, you know, 250,000 people are coming in and hanging out in the live streams every month now. And that's really, like, that is a big deal, guys. Okay, let me just tell you. Can I just tell you, at my biggest, you know, my biggest gaming, even when I was blowing up, my biggest gaming was not much bigger than this. Okay, when I was a famous gamer, we were averaging like 2,000, but then mostly it was around 1,000. So we're almost like at the size that I was when I was a famous gamer. And I'm not even like famous. Like, nobody even knows who I am, really. Hardly. I mean, I'm starting to like get noticed a little bit more by people, but for the most part, we're still like a small channel, but we have a very powerful community, guys. A very, like, it's very powerful, guys. You know? Yeah. Go us. Right? What game? I was a Fortnite streamer, unfortunately. Dude. Oh shit, boss. That was, but I will say this. You ready? I not to toot my horn, but people know me here. I help navigate a lot of young people through the early stages of the pandemic. Okay. Later on, at the end of the pandemic, a bunch of people got red-pilled and shit, and I ended up sort of leaving the gaming community and moving into politics. But in the early part of the pandemic, I brought a lot of like singing and dancing and joy and humor and like, we're going to get through this to young people that were struggling to navigate like going through a pandemic. And I think our community did a really good job at helping a lot of people, like, you know, millions of people, millions of young people, like sort of cope with the overwhelm of the pandemic. And we did it with a community similar to this, but it was different, but because it was gaming, but we did good. You know what I'm saying? We did good. And even though I needed to get out of that environment and I felt like my energy was needed somewhere else, I'm real proud of like what we did. You know, even though some of the members got red pilled and ended up not liking me, and you know, there was whatever, there was some you know, bad blood, I guess, with some people with the fallout. I'm proud of the work we did. And we had an impact for sure, man. You know what I'm saying? We had an impact. And I've even gotten some like letters from people who, like, you know, small town American kids who thanked me for like opening their eyes to, you know, beyond just what their small town was teaching them, to like get them to think about shit. Some people that have gone in the military and have said, you know, my experience out in the world is really different because you showed me that like everything in this small town wasn't like the whole world. And that's like really meaningful, you know what I'm saying? That's like really, because that's really all I want to do is I want to give people a chance to see beyond like, you know, our fears and our social programming, you know what I'm saying? Glad I listened to Where the Moment Needs You. I do. Yeah. I mean, I made my switch, guys. It was at TwitchCon in 2022 is when I realized the switch. Like, I was still being that voice of like leftism in the gaming community, but I had, after the Andrew Tate thing, I went to TwitchCon, and the whole time I was there, I kept getting approached by people who weren't into gaming at all, and they had only seen me talking to Andrew Tate and in clips that people put on TikTok about Andrew Tate, and they kept expressing to me how important they thought my voice was in like the climate of politics. And these were not gamers. And that's when I realized I need to take it outside, like me shouting into the void of gaming. While it was helpful for a time, it's like people outside of gaming needed the voice. And so I made a decision actually in 2022 to like, you know, it still took me 2 years of like starts and stops to get going and to let go of the gaming. But it really was the reaction of non-gamers where I could tell the universe was pulling me into this other thing. And to be honest though, guys, I had wanted to be doing this. I tried to do this political thing on Twitter in 2013. I tried to do it when I first started Twitter, but it never took off. I never got any traction. And then after I became a famous gamer and I did it, I got traction. But this is where I always wanted to be. I just took a detour into Fortnite because I was really depressed that my film career wasn't working out and the politics thing wasn't working out. And then I happened to get lucky and turn my depression into a ton of money. And I learned how to do YouTube and TikTok and that along the way. So then when I came back to the political realm, I had a lot more tools, you know? So sometimes, you know, sometimes the path isn't a straight line. And that's another lesson, guys. I'll close with, I'm going to go and, you know, I have to tap out now and I'm going to go hang with Jenny for a bit and go make some videos. But I want to say that like with my story, how like I wanted to be a political YouTuber, but I didn't know YouTube. And then I got depressed and then I made bad choices. And then those bad choices led me to fame and a toehold and a bunch of new skills that I ended up in the political thing 12 years later, right? But it wasn't a straight line. So my point is there may be a John Fetterman or a Joe Manchin or a Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries. There may be some time where we go into this depression or we go into these areas where it feels like this is not the right thing. But if you keep going and if you keep like seeking and working for it and not getting down, not getting resentful and negative, you'll get there. You just, sometimes it's a real crooked line of stops and starts and wrong choices. Okay. I mean, I started this channel 2 times politically with shorts and long videos and editors, and they were both failures. And then finally in the election year, I found a formula that took off. But dude, it was 2 years of like mistakes. And so we can't get down if we have some imperfect Dems. We get encountered with obstructions. We lose some fights, whatever, shit goes wrong. It's like you just keep going. But you gotta keep that fucking heart and passion anchored in it. That we're going to win this thing. We're going to change this world. And we're like relitigating the civil rights movement, guys. We're in the 60s again, guys. Okay? We are redoing the 60s. The 50s and 60s, they want to, you know, when they say make America great again, they want to go back to the 1800s, but they're also talking about the 50s when everything was white and women were in the home and the gay people and the people of color were silent and out of the way. We know what they want. We are relitigating. We're in the 50s and the 60s again. And those decades were hard. People got assassinated. It was bloody. People died. It was like heartrending. But it also like created a new world, okay, that led us to a black president. And now we're back here again and we're relitigating it again, but we will win the fight again, guys. Okay? We are going to win the fight again. All right? We are. I have no doubt in my mind, you know? And we just entered the age of Aquarius. And so this is going to be a big one. This one's going to have some there's going to be some reward. to this one. Okay, there is. I don't know if we'll see it in my lifetime, but I'm gonna keep fighting so maybe my son sees it in his. And you know, but it's for at me at this point, it's not really about me anymore, right? It's about like, even if I don't see this change, it's about trying to set up in the world so the people that come after me can see this change. So people born 20 years from now can get the world that I knew was possible. All right. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. Okay. All right. But let's fucking stick together. Discord link is down in the description. Go join it. If you want to keep going, we were in there all day today. Thank you to everybody who interacted with me in Discord. That was really, today was a lot to process. Okay. It was. Today was a lot to process, guys. I was really scattered. I only made one long form video because I was fucked up. Okay. I was very active on Twitter. I got hundreds of new followers. Like the Twitter is growing like rapidly. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten like 5,000 new Twitter followers in a very short amount of time. Like Twitter is growing a lot, which is important because Twitter is a cesspool. I think my voice is really important on there. And you know, we got to keep fighting Elon Musk. And the best way to fight him is to dismantle his algorithms by being a part of it on that platform. If you can handle it, if it hurts your mental health, get out. Okay. Don't be there if it hurts you. You know what I'm saying? But we are going to stick together. We are going to fucking win this. Okay. And we're going to make it out, guys. America's been through worse. Okay. We have been through worse, guys. And if you think you haven't, there was a time when every person of color was on a fucking plantation, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, 10 years ago, a person of color was the president of the United States. So like, we can do this. You know what I'm saying? We can fucking do this. You know what I mean? We can. All right. We have been through worse. And hopefully we're not going to have to go through like what we did in the 1860s. I hope not. But I love you guys. I'm glad you're here. And now we dance. All right. Let's go. Let's get it. Get it, 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 get it. All right, let's go. Oh, stretch it. Oh, shit, boss. Oh. Dude, Jenny and I are watching a show right now called His and Hers. You guys know that show? It's like a short mini series called His and Hers. It's actually really good. Dude, I'm really enjoying it. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it in the beginning because I didn't know anything about it. But I'm really enjoying it. It's really intriguing. It's got some good, you know, some good drama in it, right? I'm enjoying it. It's very beautifully filmed. Okay, it's no, it's not British. It's like set in a small town, like outside Atlanta. I don't know what it's on. Jenny sort of manages that. I think it might be on Netflix, right? You know, but it is good. I really like it. I mean, I like it because we watched The Bear, right? I really loved The Bear. Oh my God. And so the guy who plays his older brother who unalived himself is the main character in His and Hers. And it's just really good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it, right? He was also on The Walking Dead. I have not watched The Walking Dead. Jenny watched The Walking Dead. I kind of have an aversion to zombie movies. The only zombie thing I ever really liked was the World War Z, right? I like that zombie movie, the fast moving ones, but the slow sort of like things, I don't really like that shit. Dude, plus when I went to film school in the early 2000s, like 2010, all the young kids that were in that film school were making zombie movies. And I was like, dude, I was like, these things are killing me, dude. There's nothing worse than bad student films that are zombie movies. Oh my God, bro. They were so bad, and everyone was making them. Yeah, 12 Monkeys was pretty good. Shaun of the Dead, that I liked, but that's not really a zombie movie. That's more like a campy, make fun of the zombie movies. All right, you ready? Zombieland was another one that was fun. Dude, let's go. All right. All right, I'm ready, guys. Let's just get it going, baby. All right, it may not be perfect tonight, but we're going to give it everything we have. Oh!
Got a lot of choices. I got a lot of ways that I can go. I hear a lot of voices. They have a lot to say, but I don't know. Been here before. Yeah, I do recognize the tiny nose. There's marble floor, and I don't need my eyes to see what lies behind that wooden door. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like things will turn out okay. Everything lately, I'm feeling so familiar. Coming on greatly, it's feeling like a million. I've been here before, yeah, I do recognize the talent of this marble floor, and I don't need my eyes to see what lies behind that wooden door. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like things will turn out okay.
Let's go!
I'm coming up
right, baby.
slowly. This feeling
Gonna bring
that
it home.
I have now, almost a bit holy. An notion that I will make it out somehow. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like things will turn out alright this time. I know.
Let's go! All right. That felt good. Analyze and fall victim. My venom lowers. Time to get to know myself. This perfection, pay attention. Yeah, you never will. You depend. So you always will. If you arrest yourself again, I'll help you clean up the mess. I wonder if you ever did, yeah. I wonder if you ever did like I did. I wonder if you ever did, yeah. I wonder if you ever did like I did. Thank you guys. Thank you for an amazing night tonight. For all the support. I fucking love you guys. We're gonna try keeping it together. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go make some videos. All right, and I will see you guys fucking tomorrow. And just remember, this is what it's about. I just wanna be free. From the oppressive resentment, okay? Keep hopeful. Just remember, guys, we can do this. It is not over until we say it's over. Now I want to be free. I want to be free. Love me. Free, yeah, yeah, yeah. Freedom, yeah. Freedom, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Freedom, yeah. Ooh, freedom, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Good night.
I just wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. I just wanna change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting.